Join me as we talk all things true crime.
Made contact and shattered.
The missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and the mother has went for a wall, came home, now they can't find her.
Chad, where are Lori's kids? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say?
4 were stabbed multiple times and were likely asleep during the attack. Some had defensive wounds.
Most of them had just like one that was the lethal stab wound.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Once I told a lie, and I told my family, I had to keep lying.
What's your, is it deemed?
We haven't cleared anybody.
Hi, everybody. I hope everyone can hear me because last time my mic was like unplugged.
Sound good.
Okay. All right. So tonight we are going to be discussing, hold on, let me share my screen. We're going to get right into, is this Salem, modern day Salem witch trial, or is it something else? I would like to just start off with thanking you, Alex Erickson, for joining me, and Jen Lou will be joining when she can after she puts the grandbaby to bed. And if anyone hasn't subscribed to both the panel guests tonight, I've got their names in the title with the @ sign, and all you do is just click on that, and it'll bring you right to their channel. So highly suggest it. Hold on, let me share my screen.
Thank you. Hello, you guys.
Oh, come on, this stupid ad on the screen. Would also like to say a disclaimer that just because my panel guest, what?
Your mic isn't working now. Is it, or am I? Can you guys hear me? Let me know.
I can hear you. Can you hear me,
Adrian? Well, Amber, you can hear me, obviously, but yeah, I can't hear you at all.
Okay, hold on.
Can you guys hear Amber?
Can you hear me now?
What the heck? Well, then they can hear us both. So let me refresh. I'm so sorry, Amber. 1 second.
You're totally fine. But as she's rejoining us, she's just going to jump back in. I want to make a disclaimer that just because, hold on, let me switch back to my other one to, you guys can still hear me. Just because they are my panel guests, can you hear me now, Alex?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm so sorry. It tricked me because you you had just said, like, if my mic, can y'all hear me? And I was like, oh God, the mic just went out.
You're totally fine. I'm just gathering my thoughts anyways, because I have so much to say tonight, guys. This may or may not be my last live on the subject as well. So I've got a lot to say. I want to get it off my chest because this obviously is a relevant subject still, even though it's been 2 weeks at least, on this whole, is she, oh, I got to send Jen the link.
I'll send it.
Okay. Is she being stalked? Is this a real victim situation or is it not? So I just want to say, just because they're on my panel doesn't mean that they necessarily align 100% with things that I say and vice versa. Channels that I moderate for might not stand behind my opinion. My opinion, of course, is not that of a doctor like Dr. John in this situation. I've had some college, but most of my psychology opinions have come from like 1 year of college, and most of it's like true crime, like studying true crime and having street smarts since I was pretty much like 17. That's how I've kind of built my background on what I believe is like a way to see when people are being manipulative or emotionally manipulative on people. So I just want to lay that out there. I'm just a mom who has a true crime channel. Like everyone says that. I think even Lauren said that, but it's true. Like I don't say that I'm like a doctor, that anything I say is 100%. It's just, this is how I see the situation. And again, just because my panel is up here and just because I moderate for other channels discussing this topic, like we might not all align. You might hear something that I say tonight that another channel has stated. You might hear something that I say tonight that other people might not have highlighted yet. What we have on the screen is art from Salem witch trials, because Dr. John kind of brought that subject up in their 3.5 hour live stream, which took place after the 9 hour live stream. So sometimes you're going to hear me kind of reference like a 12.5 hour stream, because I'm kind of combining the first one to the one that they did. They're like, we react or whatever, we respond, which wasn't much of a response. It was more of like them defending and trying to reiterate and shove down our throats that like, you're not understanding. She's being stalked and this is why. And I'm going to hide behind my doctor title and my literature and tell you why I feel that way. That's how I saw it. And I'm basically going to reference The Crucible that Dr. John referenced, because I did read that book. And you know, the Salem witch trials, I consider true crime anyway. So I think that it would be a good place to start, is to kind of go through like a really brief, like what was the Salem witch trials, because they were using it as like concrete, like this is the same. Like this situation is comparable to The Crucible by Arthur Miller. And that was all about the Salem witch trials. Anything you two, thank you, Jen, for being here, by the way.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Want to say about the Salem witch trials, or just the comparison of like them kind of referencing that?
Well, I have seen, and after you mentioned you wanted to do this, I told you like this actually came up in an adjacent community about something else, right? I've seen this topic come up before. I think this is the least comparable to what happened that I've seen when I've seen it compared to other things. I think that's pretty offensive, honestly. It's almost the same in the same vein of like comparing it to Charles, and you know, it's just a bit different because we're a little bit more removed from that because it happened so long ago, but still, right? It's true. I don't know. I don't like it. Felt disrespectful and inappropriate.
Agree. I mean, look, once again, they're comparing people who have died, people who were murdered. The fact of the matter is, the Salem witch trials, women were accused, tried, convicted, and hung for being witches based on hysteria, rumor, just simply, you know, being pointed at, oh, she's a witch. If a woman was a midwife and the baby didn't survive, it was witchcraft. The midwife was a witch. So this is okay. Absolutely not the same thing. It's like comparing apples and carburetors. That's how far apart they are. It's ridiculous. They're not even in this nowhere, not even in the same vicinity. It would take the light from the Salem witch trials 11 billion years to reach this argument that he's trying to make. They're not at all this. I can't even believe he tried to make it comparable. I don't. I hope he stretched good before that reach. He finna pull something.
I love that. All right. So I will be sourcing a lot of my notes on my phone. So if it looks like I'm looking down, that's what I'm doing. So pretty much, you know, just to give a quick overview, now that we all kind of agree from what we know, it's just not the same. But I really want to kind of shove this down people's throats and understand how different the situations are, because everything being said against Lauren, it seems like we're her own doing. From what we've determined. At first it was, oh, let's see both sides. And this, then which we're going to reference her statements before the court audio and before the documents came out and after, because, you know, there's totally different tune. And in fact, after everything came out, it seems Dr. John decided, like, you've said too much. Just let me handle this 3.5 hour thing, which didn't do them any more good, I don't think. But the Salem witch trials were a series of hearings and prosecutions that took place in 1692 to 1693, Massachusetts. people accused. There was more than 200 people executed. There was 20, 19 hung, and one was pressed to death. Others died in jail while awaiting trial. Like you stated, it started with hysteria when a group of young girls in Salem claimed to be possessed by the devil and accused several local women of witchcraft. Again, this is not anything of what has taken place with Lauren.
Pressed to death? Like, oh my gosh, I didn't even
Yeah.
know that.
Oh
Jeez.
yeah, Allie. They were cruel. And I would like to also, if I might, just point out that basically what Lauren did was point the finger at another woman and a few and then well, really a group of women, right? And called them stalkers, harassers, tormentors, right? And brought it to the true crime community, which is about facts and evidence. And yet when um, we're looking at the facts and evidence, the evidence that she herself presented. This was her evidence, okay? She just expected us to take her word for it. I don't understand the thinking there. Instead of being outraged that not everybody believes her, I mean, I can understand being frustrated with, if you really believe something is true and people are like, no, we don't believe that. I can understand that frustration. But for the love of Pete, why don't you give some props? You brought it to the true crime community. The true crime community did what the true crime community does. They looked at the facts and the evidence. They looked at the documents. So for if nothing else, you should be proud of the true crime community that you don't ever want I mean, I don't. Maybe it's just me, but like I don't want people to just be like, "Oh, Jen Lou said this happened, so it happened." Hell no, especially if there's documents. Go look at them.
I know.
I agree,
I
Jen.
guess
I
the one
totally
that was
agree.
pressed to death was somebody who refused to plead.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, you're right. Cruel is incredibly cruel. But Jen, what did she expect? Like, you bring it to a true crime community. That's such a good point. I don't know. I guess
I think she expected because I think what she was trying to do is because we accepted her work, right?
Mhm.
Then we would accept her telling her own story. Well, the fact is, those are two very different things. Listening to somebody report, how can I argue with, like, for example, the Delphi trial? I'm not arguing about whether Richard Allen is guilty or innocent. That's not my point. So we don't need to go there because the jury is out for me. But the things that she brought from the trial were her perspectives. She took notes or reported on whatever it was, reported on. Let me leave it there. She reported on the things in the trial that she felt were important to discuss. Now, I could have sat at that trial and I might have agreed that those things were important, but I might have thought, okay, like 5 of those things were important, 3 of them were not. Here's the 3 things that I think that should have been discussed. You can't really argue that perspective. You know what I'm saying? But we're supposed to the whole reason to go to a trial, the whole reason to watch a trial is to be viewing the evidence that's presented and apply critical thinking to it. So if you come to the true crime community and you present a story, whether it's yours or somebody else's, at the end of the day, just because people watched you and particularly with your interviews with people that you were able to get that were close in the Lori Vallow Daybell. I know people don't like me to call her that. So Lori Daybell and the
I'm
Chad
sure you would
Daybell
do that too.
in their case, right, you were able to get people, to tell their stories on your channel and people appreciated that. That's not the same as you bringing forward a story of a crime. Stalking is a crime. And then expecting people not to view the facts and the evidence that you presented with and apply critical thinking skills to it. You brought it to the court of public opinion, and the court of public opinion is going to weigh in on it, and you might not always like it.
Surprise. And hello, Melly. Melly says, all I learned from that is Dr. John has some deep issues. A psychologist having a meltdown like he did is concerning. And I'm going to get to that meltdown because I feel like I have a different take on it. Maybe we'll see, but I do want to talk about that. And thank you, Mac J. All right, so let me get started with my notes and things. We're not going to go through everything. I've just kind of brought up stuff that kind of is relevant to points I'm trying to make. And again, these are just my opinions in the whole situation. And to be honest, I don't think she expected everything to come out. Like, I don't think she thought Sleuthy Goosey would put this all together and that we would be going through. Like, I think she thought her 9.5 hour live stream and her visit on these channels and Grayson's visit on these larger channels would be like, okay, that's it. Perfect. And then all this stuff came out and it was like, I think it was like almost cat caught your tongue type of thing.
That's very naive of her to think that.
Yeah,
And I would say, ma'am, seems like you're out of touch with the community that you're actually trying to be in, which is the true crime community. This is what the true crime community, I'm talking about the true crime community.
And
trauma is a different community. So
yeah,
and they handle things differently. But the true crime community, the way that think about it, Lauren, if the shoe were on the other foot, if it were somebody telling their story, it's no different than the crimes that you report on. When Lori Daybell was arrested and they were putting the documents on the website, you were getting them and you were reporting on them. What's the difference?
And allegedly, even one that wasn't, that wasn't supposed to be released or reported on.
And I won't go mention that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is she's on a channel after this whole thing, and she's like, "Oh, thank you for giving me a safe place
Mikey,
to come
I'm
on
live.
to." And
Mikey, I'm live. Oh God.
And somewhere that I feel comfortable with, because I'm still scared, is what she said. And then again, this is all before all the files and audio came out of the judge basically saying, like, it seems like you're trying to silence a critic in so many words. We'll get to that a little bit of audio too, because I feel like that needs to be included as my whole kind of thing.
Yes, that should be your closing argument, Amber, because that is facts. I'm tired of listen, support who you want. Okay. I encourage everybody, do what you want to do. You're all adults. You don't need my permission to tell you to do what you want to do. You're doing what you want to do regardless. Right.
Yeah.
But stop criticizing and acting like we didn't hear what we heard. Stop pretending like like the whole audio isn't out there. Stop pretending like, oh, it's part of a larger conversation that we just didn't understand. I played it. I listened to it multiple times before I even discussed it. So don't tell me I didn't hear what I heard. Don't tell me that he meant it in a different way. He meant it how he said it. It
but
was
Jen, have
very
you
clear.
read all the books? Have you read all the books that John had out?
No, I have not read all of the books. I did not read all of I haven't read any of the books. Of course, I haven't read any of the books, and I know that the person who files for the restraining order is called the petitioner, not the official person. So education isn't always everything, is it? With my GED over here. Mm-hmm.
And so many of us have pointed out, like Melly had said on the screen, in the 9.5 hours and over an hour on Duty Ron's channel, she never once said anything about the judge stating what he stated or anything like that.
She never even mentioned that there was a first hearing to begin with.
Which,
not like, she did read objections. She read some things motions that had been filed. That is not the same thing as stating outright there was a hearing. She started her live by saying the reason she withdrew is because Law and Crime was going to record it. and they were going to be the pool for all the media, and it could have gone all over. And why would they want this? And blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's how she started. You know, I'm not, when somebody starts out with a lie or a twist of the truth is a lie. If it's not, it's either the truth or it's not. What you know, you can pretty it up how you want. But if you start, for me, if somebody starts something out with a lie, I don't believe anything that comes out of their mouth after that, because you're a liar.
Right. And she did, in my opinion, lie about the whole Lori Hellis thing. That she only sent it to one person at first, she stated, to fact check.
And then screenshots come out where she's in a Facebook group who wants it.
Right.
Whether that Facebook had 5 people or 50 people or 1,100 people, sending it out to anybody was wrong and unethical. And, by the way, immoral.
And there was a receipt of it, which kind of lays out a pattern, because the receipt of it was a screenshot of a group chat of her saying, "Got the book, who wants it?"
Exactly. Like, who does that?
Which leads me to think there are more screenshots that she obviously was worried about, which is why she had Grayson going back 6 years.
Yeah.
So my notes start off referencing this exhibit, which is Exhibit 2 in Sleuthy's files. In my opinion, it displays.
Oh, sorry, Amber.
You know, an apology, like from a real friend. Yet in the 3.5-hour stream that John did, they paint Christina as a fangirl and state it was a parasocial relationship, but Christina thought it was more. And to me, when you're telling someone that you love them and this type of so parasocial relationship was one-sided relationship, non-reciprocated bond that a person forms with a public figure. So that's how John and her were trying to spin this in the 3.5-hour stream. Now, this is Lauren in blue, right?
Let me see. Yes, Lauren is in the blue.
I love you, and I'm sorry. Thank you for talking to me. I have a lot to process about myself and my actions. She says, "Thanks for letting me be vulnerable and being vulnerable about yourself. Everything I love about you is real and sincere. Everything I judged you for before I gave you a chance, I was wrong." So, like, this is like, to me, if it was a parasocial relationship, I feel like it wouldn't have this type of tone. Do you guys agree? Like, I just feel like them trying to paint it as like, oh, she's the fangirl. She was obsessed with you. She thought your friendship was more than it was. Like, if I'm Christina and I'm having this conversation, like, I'm thinking like, oh, maybe she is really sorry, or maybe she does really see our friendship. She says right here, "I call you a dear friend."
Here's the thing. Regardless, okay, let's say for argument's sake that is what John believes. And maybe it's true. Maybe they weren't close friends, right? Let's just say, just for argument's sake. Then what is this about? What is the "I call you a dear friend, I love you"? What is that about? So you see, this is where it becomes problematic, because if it was a parasocial relationship, once again, we have an issue with boundaries. And Laura not understanding boundaries. If you really thought that this woman was obsessed with you, why would you encourage her by telling her that you consider her a dear friend? You will, what does she say? At the end of it, something about, hold on, let me look. Let me make this bigger for me. Hold on. Scroll down just a scotch at the very bottom, because I think it's at the end. "No matter where our paths lead, I'll forever defend you and call you a dear friend. With the biggest heart I'll know. I'd do anything for you if you ever needed me." This is a problem with boundaries. Graham, this is, Lauren is in the blue. and Christina is in the black. This is to Christina.
And John, the whole thing is John is painting it as it was a one-sided friendship, and Christina thought it was more than that, and she's a fangirl, and she was obsessed and upset that their friendship ended. So to me, it says either you're emotionally and manipulating, if you're using like emotional manipulation on Christina in this text, or you're using emotional manipulation on us trying to paint a different narrative.
Right. Or you're using emotional manipulation on your husband by withholding some of the details, some of the truth.
Yeah, good
because
point.
it's clear from this exchange, there's a lot in this. I mean, this isn't like there's a little bit of a confession in this when she says, let's see. I'll forever regret the things I said about you and thought about you. Okay. If all of this was because the thing that she said was annoying, well, then why is there an S at the end? That's, I mean, I know I only have my good enough diploma, but even I know that when you add an S to the end of a noun, it means multiple, more than one. So if it was just about saying, and that's another thing, the diminishing of it. Oh, I said she was annoying. No, 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 no. You admitted, that's the one that you admitted to.
Exactly.
Outright.
Mm-hmm.
But you are low-key admitting to there being more than that because you used the word things. And after all, did you not go to college to become a journalist? Did you not take writing classes to become a journalist?
Anything to add, Allie?
She said she'll be back in just a minute. She's in
okay.
the back chat.
So yeah, that was pretty much. Oh wait, she's back. Oh wait, no, I thought she like left and she was. I don't know. Anyways,
we're all on the struggle bus today. Let's all get on it together. Come on, y'all.
Let's go. All right. So to me, I just feel like it was just disingenuous in the 3.5 hour stream to kind of paint her as like the fangirl and obsessed friend. Like to me, it seems like, why wouldn't she think that they were friends? You know what I mean? Like, I don't see a parasocial relationship in these texts.
I don't either. I think that they were friends. And by the way, a parasocial relationship usually doesn't involve sharing an Airbnb. See, this is where boundaries get crossed. This is where it becomes problematic. And, there are lessons to be learned here, so like, I don't think that look, if getting to be a YouTuber that has, 300,000 subscribers, I'm never going to be a Lauren, not in that way. Well, maybe will I ever get that many subscribers? I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for me, but all the work that I do, yes, I like Neat Noodle has sent me things, Tess Mac has sent me things, but I would say fairly 85% or more of the work I do is a solo mission. Now, do I go to Amber and Allie and ask them after the work is done to look at it and tell me, what I should do? Yes, but the work is done. I don't have a producer. I don't have a script writer. All the things that come out of this brain or out of this mouth come from this brain, good, bad, or indifferent. So if that means, but still, like if we were to if we were all to pool our money together, me, you, and Allie, and say, let's go to CrimeCon 2026, right? And then we all, went and we got an Airbnb together and got in a little fight, and one of us aired it out on the tubes. And then the other two of us said, we were never really that good of friends. It was just a parasocial thing. We were just entertaining her. Like, come on. Stop playing with these people.
It's bullshit. And Amber, I just want to say I am sorry that number one, I was muted for that long. And number two, that I was asking because I was like, Mikey, I'm live because the kids were getting in trouble and I
You're
just didn't
fine.
want to interrupt. Well, I thought I was muted until the second time I saw I wasn't when I looked down. But regardless, I apologize.
I didn't
But
even
it's
notice. You're totally fine. Did you want to add anything? I mean, besides that, you agree it's ridiculous that they try to spin it as like this whole parasocial relationship, and Christina thought it was more.
no, I mean it's clearly bullshit. That's all. That's
Right.
all. Yeah, I agree with everything you guys say. Like, so I haven't. It was funny because Amber, you're like, you guys, the panel, they might not agree with me just because they have a channel. They might not agree with me, and I'm thinking, I wonder if we will or not. Like, so far, agree with you.
We're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Which is good. And at times it's like, don't be afraid to be like, well, I don't know if I interpret it. You guys will let me know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So then I go
Especially
on to
that
go.
Jen Lou. She never can shut up.
Whatever.
I'll be right back, girls. Okay, just give me 1 sec.
Okay. So I continue to say in my notes that, John went on in the 3.5 premiere video, hiding behind his job title and his literature and his books and all that he knows about the situation and about what stalking is and cyber stalking and all that. And he wants us to think that everything he's saying is credible. And of course, I used to watch their channel because I found him interesting and thought like, he had something to bring to true crime. But if you want us to find you credible, when your wife is coming out and you've come out in your letter to the court about, her dark thoughts that she was having and wanting to, of course, I can't say it.
Self-harm.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. If she's saying these things and you're wanting the court to believe that that's how bad this situation is, that you need this in PTO, or you know what I'm talking about, permanent protection order. Gosh. Yeah. Thank you. If you want us to believe everything that you guys were presenting to the court, then if you were this professional that you want us to think you are, when your wife started talking about these ideas that she was having and how low she was, that's how bad this situation had got for her. She's up at night rocking and everything that you put out there. Then why didn't you act on it as you should have as a professional, like, and a caring husband? Like, honey, that those thoughts aren't good. He says something like, she'll wake up and be like, is there another post? Like, I'm sorry, but that to me, like, you need to log off. I think you need to go rest. You're talking about doing things that me as a professional and as a husband, I'm concerned with. I don't like this, what has happened. If she's making you feel this way, I think that you need to take some time and get some rest, quote unquote, in a hospital.
Yeah, right. Well, you would think, and I've seen so many comments that are like, isn't he a mandated reporter? Shouldn't he, wouldn't, like by law, he would have to get her some help at that point? I don't know I don't know the truth of that, but it's still interesting. You would think for sure there would be some kind of intervention, or it's all over, like being over
It's
dramatized for us. Yeah. But you know what? Thinking about that, like, is there another post? Like when she wakes up. Okay, first of all, I could see it if the posts were like, I don't know, your nude pictures or like shit about your family, like directly naming them, tagging them, pictures, like your address, your home, like those kind of like really. But let's be clear, the posts that she was doing, they weren't even naming her. Like, you need some. How do you get such a big channel and you don't have a little bit thicker skin? Like,
yeah. And I'll get to that whole naming thing too, because that I think was another form of manipulation that she tried to pull over people. So I said, John wants us to believe truly that you had a stalker. And because of this situation, you had dark thoughts of ending things. Why was it so severe of a situation to involve the courts and a 12.5 hours on your channel to lay out your side? But it wasn't that big of a deal to check yourself into the hospital for the way it was making you think and feel. to spin this ordeal into you fearing for your life from a woman who is a mother of 4, lives states away. She's never been to your house or the state with you or without you, who has no criminal background that I've seen or anyone else has been able to pull up, let alone a violent past, isn't sticking with me. Are there situations where ex-employees and ex-friends break temporary protection orders and they end up killing the other person involved? Yes. Was this a situation that would have turned into that? At first, I wasn't sure, but now that we've gone through it all, I do not believe there was ever a threat on your life. Hold on. I'm skimming through because some of the stuff I've already talked about. Or even a temporary protection order being necessary in the first place. I will go through more reasons of why I feel this way. One, painting the narrative that she was a fangirl. Okay, we talked about that. They also tried to paint the narrative that she must have been a disgruntled ex-employee. You guys have kind of seen her kind of touch on that too. Like, oh, she was mad because, we let her go and we didn't want to work with her.
That was ridiculous as well, because if that were the case, there were no NDAs signed. If that were the case, then anything that occurred during if she wanted to out her, she would have outed her. She could have. If there was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Usually whistleblowers, go to bigger media, not a small 500 subscriber channel on the TikToks.
Right, exactly. She stated to everyone that okay, so this was something that I think another channel like pulled up. It was like an old clip of her either on her Patreon or something where she was talking about the work that Christina had done for her. And she did state that she had paid her for her work and she's an artist. But then there was also another YouTuber that I can't remember who it was at this time, or I would state it. There's been so much, everyone's talking about this. But they debunked that she was just paying her for work, because there was a clip of Lauren basically saying that somebody that she knew, which was Christina, had done work for her and for no free of charge, like wanted to do it for the victims in the case. So
it was at Delphi. Christina, it was at Delphi. Christina did some artwork, some drawings at Delphi, if I remember correctly, and did it for the victim, did it to help because no cameras were allowed.
Nice. That was nice of her. I said, did you pay her for some work? Yes. But don't paint it as an disgruntled employee who was upset she wouldn't be paid by you anymore and losing income. That painted a different picture, especially when we found out that she actually did some work for you for free. It appears she was able to afford the trip to CrimeCon and the ticket to CrimeCon herself. Even after you had let her go, that wasn't an issue. It wasn't like she tried to sell her ticket or anything like that.
Right.
Seth, thanks for the facts. That's what we're trying to do. And if you guys haven't checked out Jen Liu's coverage or Alex Erickson's coverage on this topic, like that is just what we're hoping to kind of do for everyone watching, is like we're just gathering the facts. Like we're just going through like it would be any true crime case. And so far, I've yet to see any true crime here.
No. Oh, Seth, oh my gosh, that was so freaking nice.
So kind.
I know.
Thank you. You know what I was thinking though?
Thank you.
What?
Even like how the drama channels have picked this up, the one thing I will say, both true crime and drama love receipts, right? So it's interesting because like there's, yeah. That's all.
This whole thing, I don't know. I lost my marbles for a second. I lost my thought. It went right out of my head.
You're fine. I'm just going to go on, interrupt me. Okay. So basically thinking about the CrimeCon, how much it costs, the plane ticket, all that effort to go there. And this is to Lauren, you also knew she was going to CrimeCon and had made public announcements that you wouldn't be attending. Why at the last minute you decided to buy a ticket and go is clear to me. It was a business and networking trip for you. Of course, you have a channel and it's true crime based. It makes sense for you to be there. However, it appears the main objective, in my opinion, of the trip was to silence Christina and make sure she wasn't there spreading rumors or maybe even truths about you to people that you would work with in the future or do work with already. I think this because of the timing of the TPO and the ticket purchase to CrimeCon. In the body cam, you speak about how you emailed the police department before arriving. This reminds me of Amber Heard, who alerted the paparazzi the day she went to file the restraining order against Johnny Depp.
Yep.
Setting the stage. Go on.
And by calling the cops and having, Christina does, it doesn't matter how Lauren categorizes Christina's work, right? It matters how Christina characterizes her work. And if she was there, not just to enjoy CrimeCon and all that it brings, but also to network, because she does do art channels, podcasts, etc., need graphic designs, just that she was there on business as well. And you had her detained by the popo in front of God and everybody.
So when did she purchase the ticket, Amber? Because I didn't know that was, I guess that went over my head.
I don't have the exact date that she purchased it, but
She mentions it in the body cam.
What was that?
She mentions it in the body cam. She says something like, I purchased these tickets. I want to say she said something along the lines of when they were still friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. I just curious if you knew.
Yeah, if anyone else knows in chat too, like let me know. Somebody said June or July. Because from what I remember, and I don't want to don't take me 100%, but I do remember it kind of being like a last minute, like, okay, yeah, she bought it. But of course, this is stuff, people have also stated things in this that actually wasn't true either. So if anyone can clarify that, but it does seem like it was after Christina.
Well, didn't she get hers like when they first released them?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Christina. When did Christina purchase her tickets?
Oh.
No, Lauren's was last minute.
Okay.
Lauren announced going to CrimeCon, not even on her own channel. It was on another panel that she was on somebody else's channel. And now I'm so sorry. It's not because I don't want to mention the name. I just don't remember the name.
You're totally fine.
And I don't want to get it wrong. But Christina purchased hers like a year prior. Lauren's was at the very last minute.
Okay.
At the very, very last minute. I'm thinking that announcement was like maybe the end of July, the beginning of August, but by the end of August, August 27th is when she went and gave those declarations and got filed for a temporary restraining order and got an ex parte hearing. So we're talking about days before CrimeCon, because I want to say that CrimeCon started September 4th or 5th. The body cam is from the 5th. Yeah. I mean, it was last minute, Allie.
Okay. Can I just say what I appreciate about both of you guys and why I choose you as my friends and my close friends, because as well as the other people that are close friends of mine, because both of you just now within 5 minutes chose not to speak, even though you thought you were sure about something, but just because you didn't want to get it wrong. And I just got to say, I appreciate that so much, because I take in a lot of content, whether it's true crime or other things, and I don't see that a lot. Like, people just don't do that enough. You know what I mean? So
I appreciate that, but my last live, I got something mixed up real bad. Like, for whatever reason, my brain mixed up Summer Shiflett and Megan Connor, but I know exactly who they are. Like, I know who Megan is. I know that she's the cousin. I know that Summer Shiflett is the sister, but for whatever reason that night, I heard
you say that
brain
actually
mixed
about
them up.
Summer.
Yeah, I covered the case. Like, I know who they are. I don't know what my brain was doing that night.
It
And I
happens.
apologized repeatedly, and I still took
Anytime
a
I
rash of
do
shit in the
that,
comments.
yeah, I try to just pin the comment. Like I'll go down to the comment section
Yeah.
and pin and be like update or I misspoke or something like that. And
Yeah, I
people
did
appreciate
that.
that
And
too.
then there was
Oh.
a person at the end of of my live, like, not even like right after, like yesterday or maybe today, that was like, if you don't know the difference between Megan Connor and Summer Shiflett, you don't know enough to be talking. Like, bruh,
Oh
stop it.
God.
Dude, we have
Probably a
discussed.
Lauren fan.
Like,
Fangirl.
I know for a
you've
fact.
never, come on.
I heard you say it, and it hit my ears weird. And I was like, "Did I mishear that?" So I just went on because I knew we have talked in depth about Summer
Yes.
and all of them. So I was just like, I figured either I heard it wrong or it was like people need to chill. Come on.
I
I
know.
had the nuggie that night, you guys. Like, had just got
No
done
need to
singing.
explain. People are just rude.
Freaking, I was singing, "Do You Want to Build a Snowman?" like 20 minutes earlier. Cut me some slack.
Tell me about it.
Was on an accident.
That's my
Damn,
life.
I know who they are.
Amber, that's my
And
life.
thank you, Ladybug. I'm still gonna lay it out. I've got a video on the screen that I want to play. Just want to kind of conclude this thought of it kind of reminding me of Amber Heard. Setting the stage, in my opinion. Hold on. Back to my notes real quick, guys, and then I'll
You're
play this
doing great,
video.
Amber. You're doing a fantastic job. I like the way you're breaking all of this down.
I
I
hope
like the way
that you
Allie's
will.
broken it down too. I think both you girls did a great job. Really.
Just
I
want
agree.
the facts.
Back at you guys.
So
I feel
anyways,
the
this
same way.
reminds me of very much Amber Heard, who alerted the paparazzi the day she went to file the restraining order against Johnny Depp, setting the stage and aligning this scene of, quote, "I am a victim," taking the time to alert the police department of the TPO against someone who would be at CrimeCon and purchasing your ticket last minute after knowing, in my opinion, I fully believe she knew she would be there, shows to me you were not afraid. You were working with the police as if they were your own private security team when they have much bigger things to be worrying about, and probably were wondering why you were even coming, knowing that she would be there once they kind of put it all together, because I'm sure that they kind of did. And then let me play this on the screen, because this is another exhibit that I feel shows to me her kind of laying the scene of like, oh, I've got to get on camera that I'm telling them that I feel threatened.
Yes. And then to find out at the end of all of this that the judge said that the last caveat to the temporary restraining order, CrimeCon, wasn't to bar her from the entire thing.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah.
I loved it too when her lawyer was like, after the judge like pretty much laid it out, and he was like, well, if that's the best you could do. And it was like, you could almost tell the judge was like, yeah, that's the best I could do because this is free speech.
Right. You want to ban her from all look, you know who gets banned from the internet? Chomos. PDF files. That's who gets banned they're not allowed access to the internet. Okay. But as far as and all the things in that, he clarified them. It wasn't that she wasn't allowed to post on TikTok. It wasn't that she wasn't allowed to post on Instagram. What he meant was she's not allowed to use Instagram and TikTok to try and communicate with her. She can't comment on on Lauren's TikTok. She can't comment on Lauren's Instagram or YouTube or social media, which she never did.
Right. And that's how exactly I heard it too. It was like, do not use social media to contact each other.
Right. Leave each other alone.
All right. So this, I think, and I know other people have pointed this out, but I'm using it for this layout of why I think this is just BS. She's approaching the woman who she's claiming that like she's feeling threatened by. Like she's the one walking towards her.
Yeah.
Like I feel if this went further, this would be used. Like she thought this was going to be an exhibit to like show like, look, I told them I'm threatened. Just because you tell somebody you're feeling threatened doesn't mean that that's evidence that you're being threatened, because it looks like to me You're
Right.
approaching her.
You instigated it. This reminds me of another example of Amber Heard.
Yeah. Here, I'll put it on mute.
It was Amber's Heard's own evidence. It was her recordings that were played in court that were actually evidence of her wrongdoing, her instigating, her abuse. Not the other way around. Like Sarah Boone. Remember when Sarah Boone said, I have all these videos? She said it in her interrogation. I've been documenting this for months. They play it in open court and she's berating him, waking him up. That's the same thing.
Not a good look.
Not a
So
good look.
Let's hear it with sound.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
do you feel the same way, Ellie, that like in this video, like she's the one who's actually, if you were feeling threatened, why are you recording one? And why are you walking towards I'd be walking the opposite way.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Got a tickle in my throat, but yes, I totally agree. The walking towards her, like I still agree with you guys so far.
Are you recording me? Please do. And please.
Are you recording me while you're recording her?
Unbelievable.
Ma'am.
I'm sorry. It's like, I think we kind of all were thinking when we were going through this, and I know for a fact when Sleuthy Goosey is going through this stuff, she's like, wait, what? This isn't being threatened. This is not.
This is, let me tell you what this really, what I think this is. It's a confrontation. If you say to somebody, are you recording me? You're confronting them. That is a confrontation.
That's true.
Stop playing with these people.
Are you recording me? Please don't.
Right.
What?
And she said no.
Oh my God.
She said no, but I need to talk to you.
Yes.
Please don't. And then she abruptly ends the recording because she didn't get what she didn't, stop it.
Yep. It didn't end whatever she wanted. You know what I mean?
Right. This isn't like, what is that therapy? Exposure therapy. You know, when you have a fear of something and you have, and your therapist recommends exposure therapy. This is not that. Okay. When you're afraid of somebody, you don't walk up to them and be like, are you recording me? No, you avoid them, especially in a professional setting.
Yeah.
This isn't Waffle House at 2:00 in the morning, ma'am.
Yeah.
You need
and
to
hi,
stop.
Julia, and hi, everyone who joined. Guys, hit the like button. It really helps the algorithm. And a lot of people want this to kind of reach further because of when you're going up against a channel that has as many subs as her. And I've had people on X and in my comment section that I know are from her channel, which is fine. And I leave all the comments, even if I disagree. Like, if that's how you see this, and that's fine. I don't even care. Like, I'll leave your comment, but wow. So I says, back to my notes real quick, and I'll leave this on the screen, this exhibit, because it'll be the next kind of thing that we'll touch on from her files. Christina was no ex-lover. She wasn't a disgruntled ex-employee, and she wasn't a fangirl. Stop painting it this way. You told a larger channel that the 9-hour live stream was emotional and you didn't want to do it, but your hand was forced. If that is the case, why didn't you just continue in the court process? Why didn't you once state to them, and I'm talking about the larger channels, what the judge had said to you? You thanked this channel for being friends to you and for allowing you a safe place to come back after that 9-hour YouTube live stream. Yet since you've been on, back and updating on her Patreon, I don't know what it's on her Patreon, but on her channel, at least, she hasn't once stepped up and said anything towards that channel of like a public statement of saying like, thank you again for letting me on and supporting. I'm not saying that she has to do that, but I just thought it would have been like nicer etiquette, especially since, and I know that she knows that large channel has gotten hate.
I was going to say that channel has caught a rash of shit because they supported her without, bless their hearts, they supported her because they trusted her and they considered her a friend.
And she emotionally manipulated them and didn't include them on anything that was actually what was stated by the judge, by her lawyers, by maybe even her husband, which I have the audio clip, says something like, when Christina broke that TPO, it should have been an automatic I don't know, something
arrest.
It was an automatic arrest. And when they went to court in September, they wanted her punished. They wanted her to do 30 days in jail. They wanted her to pay for Lauren's court costs. They want and attorney's fees and security fees. They wanted her to have an ankle monitor.
Unbelievable. Well, can I just say, the larger channel that I believe she manipulated seems to be going through a lot of their own personal stuff and stuff like that. And I find that really gross to manipulate somebody that's already going through so much.
Agreed.
I
Similar
agree.
to like Colby, you did drop that interview with him 2 days before, and then your victims in the chat. And did she tell Kresha she loved her, love you, Kresha, or something?
Yes.
Bullshit. I'm sorry. Disgusting, lady. You are using all these people who are going through their own hard times, losing their loved ones, dealing with health issues and stuff like that. Shame on you. That is fucking disgusting.
And to start that interview out, well, like in the interview, sort of with now that everybody's moved on, but not us, we're still here. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on, that was cruel too.
And that channel has come out basically saying like the health situation that he's dealing with, and not once. I mean, I went on there and what can I do? Like send the prayer hands, like thoughts and prayers, of course, because I love and respect that channel. No matter what their stance, we don't always agree. I mod for people that I don't always agree with things on, and vice versa. You know what I mean?
Right.
But she could have at least sent a message or re-shared his post or like I didn't see her in any comments.
Right.
Wow. Commenting like, Ron, so sorry.
Exactly. We're thinking of you. We're praying for you. And this is the thing, you guys. Can I just point this out really quick? Being a moderator of somebody's okay. I think it's like, we don't always agree. That should go without saying. Okay. We can have disagreements about things like, does pineapple belong on pizza? We don't have to agree with that. Okay. We can, we don't all have to have that same opinion, but by and large, the reason I'm friends with Amber and Allie, and the reason I have them as mods on my channel is because they're good human beings. I don't have to agree with every idea, but we're not having a disagreement about, racism. They're not racist. And I'm like, they're my mod, they're my friend, but we disagree about racism. Like, that's a deal breaker. Okay. Like, I think people need to like really think about what it means when you're a moderator for somebody's channel, but and when you're friends with somebody, like I feel like,
and she called them friends. Okay.
Exactly.
So where are you at in reference to really anything since they've I don't know. I'm not saying that she has to come out and like,
No, she should have absolutely. They showed public support to her. She should have shown it back. That's that's BS.
And in my opinion, the stuff that she was saying on that live stream wasn't accurate. And I'll go through that too. But it leads me to think whatever she was saying to them behind closed doors, because of course, remember that was before the court audio and before everything we started going through, which probably led them in that direction of like, wow, this person is unhinged. Another example of that is when she was on that live stream, people were talking about her Christina did put her name in there, and that's how people were finding her, because of a hashtag. So then we were all kind of confused and trying to fact check that, and come to find out it wasn't Christina who hashtagged the name. It was people who were commenting hashtagging it. But she knew that, and she didn't set it straight.
Correct. She could have been accurate, because the details are important.
Yeah, they are.
You know,
she should have corrected him.
But
you know what? I just.
And another thing she didn't correct them on that she knew that she could have is, I said, you had the nerve to tell them that you were still very, and again, I want to just say that these are my thoughts and opinions. This hasn't been stated to me by anybody on this the channel that we're referring to. So I just want to make that clear. They might still feel the same way they did when they were live with her. And you know, that's their opinion. That's their right. But from what I noticed, in my opinion, from what I saw, you told them that you were still very scared. And this was all before the evidence came out in the court audio. And before they knew about all that stuff. Scared, but not scared enough to follow through in court. Within minutes of their live stream, you promoted your Patreon, and how you'll be back on YouTube soon. But for now, you feel safer behind a paywall. And the Patreon statement got leaked of you and John, admitting that you knew your stalker is still on your Patreon list and membership, and that you're accepting money from them, even though you could block that stalker and not let them be on your Patreon list. How can you feel safer behind a paywall when you're admitting at the same time that you know that she's on there, and you're thanking her for her thanks to our stalkers, and telling them Patreon members, if you want more info, or the text message joking around, oh, add another tier. You purposely mentioned Patreon while you were on that channel for a reason, hoping this audience listening would join it. If you're actually scared, you would have blocked your stalker on that Patreon, not take her money. Like
or how about this? You're constantly in your declaration. You state multiple times that she's keeping tabs on you through social media. Wouldn't the perfect proof of that be a screenshot of the Patreon?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm sure she might assume she is, but here's the thing. You can check, you can see their emails and stuff on Patreon. You could easily remove them. And Amber, that is such an excellent point that I hope and pray that, the people that do or did in the beginning just believe her. I hope that they somehow just hear that or think of that point or something. How could you feel safer on your Patreon behind a paywall, but then you go straight over there and laugh and joke and thank her as well. Thank you too. How? God, I hope that's heard.
And then to try to excuse that by saying humor is our brand. When?
Yeah, and that
when was humor your brand?
Yes, exactly. Oh, you're not. It's almost the opposite. You guys are supposed to be seen as very professional and like, I'm an ex-journalist and my husband's a doctor. So, I've never got the vibe that like, I'm going to tune into their live stream and we're going to have some laughs and giggles and there's going to be satire.
Right. Humor is my brand, ma'am.
Right. You're not Jen Blue. Knock it off.
Well, who is?
Maybe one is enough. No, I'm just kidding. I love you. But so in that channel as well. Oh, she's mad. Jen just left.
No, I think she fell off.
Thank you, Seth. I appreciate.
I think she would have made that joke herself, honestly, just knowing Jen. But that's just me. Oh, there you are. Amber's like, oh, she's not mad at.
No. Freaking StreamYard kicked me out because Amber said, "Who is?"
Are you back?
No, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Amber said, "You're not Jen Lou." Well, now it's you, Lally. It's not me. Yeah, you restart. Amber said, you're not Jen Lou. And I was like, who is? Nobody's this crazy. Yeah. I mean, I'm one of, but it's ridiculous to say humor is our brand. Come on, Dr. John, stop playing with these people.
Don't lie to us. Right. Don't try to take us for a fool just because we don't read those textbooks every day.
Yeah. We don't need to read those textbooks to know when someone's playing in our face. And you, sir, are playing in our face. And I'm going to need you to cut it out. Okay? Please. I'm asking you nicely. Cut it out.
And another thing that she did that she could have cleared up before like all this stuff came out and we saw the truth is, in addition to, Christina didn't put her name in hashtags, even though it was stated that she did. It was Christina's viewers who put it. It's totally different. It's not the same. She could have cleared it up. She didn't. Another example of something that she could have cleared up was the Eminem lyrics.
Oh,
remember?
God.
He's like, oh, this video, and it says, and he said, can I play it? And before he would even let her play it, she's like, well, I just have to say that before this, it's not in the song, but in the beginning of that song, it says, it doesn't matter. Her video didn't have the lyrics that you're trying to spin that she put in that TikTok.
Correct. And let me just say this for the record, as a connoisseur of rap, all manner of rap, okay? If I were wanting to intimidate somebody, Eminem, I love you, but your lyrics are not who I'd use, okay? I would use either
That is just so
I
dumb.
think I would probably use Ghetto Boys Still. Have y'all ever heard that song?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's the song
Maybe
that they
sing it.
It is no. Back up in your ass with the resurrection. It's the group harder than an erection. It's the one they play when they're destroying the fax machine from Office Space. That's the song. Okay.
Yes, I get the reference now.
Okay. Listen to all those lyrics. Okay.
I just don't understand that when he could have just played the song, like, even though it was copyright, like she just swayed the conversation for everyone to think that those lyrics about something about physical against the defendant. I don't know the exact lyrics, but it had something about being physical against the
Yes.
defendant.
Oh God. What was it?
And I'm sure we could find it real quick, but regardless, it wasn't the part of the song that was in the TikTok. So do not try and spin this as if she's playing a song and its lyrics are talking about getting physical with me, because that is not what was played.
I mean, Olivia Newton-John talks about getting physical with people. Calm down, Lauren.
Yeah, because she's like, and later on in that same song, they say this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever.
Exactly.
Put that in the TikTok, and you're on here trying to spin it as if she did. And I was so mad because it was like you just trying to manipulate you. And she told people that civil injunctions are not live streamed, and it's the same for any child custody battles. Right.
That's not true.
Come to find out.
Have you listened? Are you reading what Kylie's writing in the chat? Kylie, I'm really curious about what you're saying with these threats respective to Delphi. Go up looking.
I asked if she knows where that was reported, but I don't think she saw it.
Yeah, because I'm really curious about I guess Kylie's saying that Lauren talked about the death threats she got covering Delphi. What did she do about those?
Yeah, if you go up further, it says she reported it or something. Okay. Sorry, Benny.
Okay.
There we go.
The first thing I thought of when I heard about all this was about the actual death threats that they were receiving when she was in Delphi for her coverage. Now, according to them, there's a police report. I don't know, Sleuthy from other chat comments, and I've said to her she needs to find this if it exists. That'd be interesting to see for sure.
Yeah, because those are things, that are serious. And Laura, nobody deserves to cover a case and be threatened with death because they disagree with your stance.
Right.
That
is something that is scary.
And see, this is and what I don't like I feel like sometimes not Kylie, but like other people that are supporting Lauren in this, and they're all, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but like they'll come in the comment sections, not mine so much, but I've seen it other places where they're sort of mingling what happened in Delphi, these threats that she got allegedly, and then this situation with Christina, as if the reason that she was heightened with Christina is because of Delphi. Now, I mean, you can look, if you start getting death threats, you're going to be on edge, okay? But I would think that you could definitely, the average person can discern a death threat from a little shit talk on the tickety talks. Like, come on, they're not the same.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And so she goes on this channel and she says, civil stalking injunctions aren't even live streamed, and neither are child custody stuff. Coming to find out, that was another thing that she it's like, did you really not know the answer to that? Or did you go on this channel? This is before the court stuff comes out, remember, and thought that because you're saying it, everyone would believe it, and that law and crime is the devil for doing what they did. Because it says right here, media outlets may request access to view the proceedings in person, or they may be granted a live stream link for virtual appearances in specific cases, depending on the court rules and court discretion. So I don't know. Did she really not know that, or was she trying to sway things like, oh, shame on law and crime?
I think she knew.
She had to have known.
Yeah.
How could
I
she
think
not
she's
know?
just extremely manipulative. I just keep thinking of Letitia, I guess, because we have looked at her so closely and really like know how her mind works, and her behavior is so abhorrent. Like Lauren she reminds me of her with the level of manipulation. And I just want to say real quick, like Kylie's comment, and I think what I gathered from it is there were these Delphi threats that were really actually scary and nasty. And she claims she made a report on it. But, when she gets on Patreon, she basically used it as like entertainment. And that the only thing that she seemed to really care about was comments that were made insulting her Botox and stuff like that. And I guess they called her a puffer fish, which, according to Kylie, they used the puffer fish as an emoji now on their channel. So I just wanted to like tie that all together because that's kind of interesting about the emoji.
Oh my
If
goodness.
it's so scary, why is it an emoji?
Exactly.
But anyway,
so
sorry.
Of course, no, don't apologize. So of course, this picture on the screen is something that she was using as like, look what Christina did when I was live streaming on Mormon Stories. So the thing about the Mormon Stories, she also, I think it was in the 9.5 hour thing, she said, if you want to know more about me, watch Mormon Stories podcast when I'm on there. So but this is all before I put up my whole opinion like I am tonight. I went there and I watched part 1 and part 2, and I had more questions and seen more red flags like after watching her whole story on Mormon Stories podcast. Like she said something around, first off, it starts off with them kind of talking about like, oh, we've talked about doing this for a long time. Oh, and now we're finally doing it. And it's like, that was filmed 3 months ago. And they have a huge platform as well. So 3 months ago, after talking to these people like over and over about, other cases and stuff, like they decided to like meet up finally and do this. So I just thought the timing of that was interesting and in my opinion, very calculated too. And to tell people, go to that if you want to know more about me. It's like, I don't believe almost anything in that thing. And I don't see eye emojis in this chat as being threatening at all. I think it's a joke.
I don't see it as threatening either. Eyeball emojis, really? Like, come on. I'm sorry. That's just, like I said, it'd be different. Like if it was really nasty, real nastiness or flat out threats. And we've seen some really nasty stuff on social media. You know what I mean? Like real harassment. Like
yeah,
this,
like watch your back, stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is
eyeballs. It's not
eye
even your
emoji.
channel. Yeah.
Right. I go in chats all the time and do that. I guess people are going to think I'm stalking them, I guess. I
You
don't want
actually
to
do.
pull it up
Yeah.
on the screen because I don't know if they would like it or not, but there is a clip in this this Mormon stories thing that I think is relevant. And the only reason why I think it's relevant is because I think that it kind of paints a background and a pattern of her thought process on things. And I think that a lot of this stuff with Christina and feeling threatened or scared and rocking and all this stuff is mostly stuff that she'd done to herself and just kind of all in her head in a way. Like thinking that she stated something in September about feeling outcasted and she thought like nobody wanted to talk to. And
Yeah.
half of it is I'm wondering if like maybe that was like all in her head.
It's possible. It probably was, you know?
So this is going to be, let me kind of do it on 1.25, but it is from the part 1. And I just find it interesting. It's also her explanation of what got her into true crime. And, you know, we all loved Unsolved Mysteries and Rescue 911 and, you know, shows like that. That's kind of where her love for true crime came from. And I found it interesting because of the extreme that she kind of took these episodes. And I think you'll kind of see where I'm getting at. So let me just play this for you too. Have you guys watched any of the part 1 or 2 of that?
Of the Mormon stories?
Yeah.
I have not. I've just seen clips of it. Like, I haven't sat and watched the full thing.
I feel like her sitting down with them 3 months ago and finally doing it and like telling her story is very much like damage control, like ahead of time.
Yeah, I did now see like clip. I watched someone else like play it, but I don't think they played it all, and I wasn't there for all of it, anyways. And I think if I don't know if where she went, but I do think she said that she had seen it.
Okay.
She was, yeah.
So let me play this, and I'll get your thoughts after. But I'm obviously not a doctor, but I think that this kind of is a beginning of a pattern for me, in my opinion. Hold on.
Do you remember it? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Before Unsolved Mysteries, there was Rescue 911. And, you know, and also I think my mother was too busy with the younger kids. And my dad was an incredible musician too. Yeah. My dad, he's an incredible musician and he taught my older brothers how to play music.
Clark, is it?
Yes. Yeah. You know my brother Clark. And yeah, I have a very musical family. I'm the black sheep in many ways. That's one of them. Again, I just went and found friends. But I would watch the show. The good news is everyone was rescued, hence Rescue 911, but it's how they would call 911 and get rescued. Like I remember to this day watching where someone comes in the middle of the night, an intruder, and they come up and start attacking a little girl's dad with a knife. And the little girl runs down, calls the phone, calls 911. She's crying. They're playing the 911 call on this thing. She's saying, help, my daddy is getting murdered. And you know, they're doing the B-roll. And so you see the guy with the knife over, you know, the reenactment. Yeah. And I'm thinking, hurry. And 911 calls. And that was the episode that just stuck with me because I thought if she didn't call right then, he was about to be killed. You know, the reenactment was so like suspenseful back and forth and how close her dad was to death and that she saved him and how frightening that there could just, this be this other side, the opposite of what faith teaches us, you know, church teaches us. And so I became a very fearful child. And whenever I'd go to bed at night, I would think, where's the phone? So I can call 911. What if someone comes in the middle of the night? I would practice hiding in my pillows. Like, how would I hide? They would check under the bed. How would I hide? And I would practice. I would put my stuffed animals on me. How would I get to my little brothers to save them? Where's my escape route? I would be up in the middle of the night thinking, do I hear something? Wanting to scream. And I say this because this is a big thing, even in my childhood, that lasted years. I'm jumping ahead. Like I remember being 11 and screaming for my dad in the middle of the night and he had to run upstairs and I just thought someone was in my house. And this started very young and lasted a very long time, which we'll get into. And so looking back with adult eyes, I just think I was processing my fear of death. Like what this contradiction to what I'm being taught in church and what the world really is. And I also remember in elementary school going to the playground and having girls say, oh, look, there's Satan coming out of a house. It was recess and taking it very literally and fearful. And then someone saying, well, if you look in a mirror in the middle of the night and say Bloody Mary, Satan's going to appear. And being absolutely afraid of mirrors at night for years, like just so afraid. And my mother started noticing. My mother was very aware. She was very nurturing. And I remember my dad was out of town and she went and she bought me Cinderella actually just to watch at night because I could not sleep. And I still have Disney Cinderella memorized. Like I can recite almost the whole thing still because I would just watch it every night, which is interesting because I think I saw her in this very abusive situation. Because that's the thing. I know that everyone's like, oh, Cinderella just gets rescued. And that is a problem because that did affect me. But they started with, she's being abused by her stepmother and these people are horrible to her. But she also, doesn't stop dreaming and perseveres and, saves herself, I guess, through her beauty and kindness. We'll get to that, but
wasn't there a murder attempt in Cinderella, or am I
think the original. Well, yeah, and the wicked stepmother completely dehumanizes her and like wants to kill her when she finds out she's in love with I know all the problems with Cinderella, but I would watch that show and yeah. So I think that was a big part of my childhood. Oh, and then I even remember like in first grade, this was like the era of McGruff the crime dog. I mean, they talked about kidnappers in first grade. Like, you're gonna be kidnapped, and I remember a McGruff the crime dog police officer coming in and talking to us in first grade, like as you walk home from school, because we all walked home from school alone then, there were no surveillance cameras. When you walk home from school, look for the McGruff crime dog house. They're the safe houses. And I remember thinking, that is bull. Like if I was a kidnapper, I would be like, make me a McGruff crime house or McGruff dog crime house so that the kids will be lured in. So I remember I would walk past houses where I'd see McGruff the crime dog in the window and just think, dude, that's freaky. Like, just be scared of that house because like I know who they are. They're playing one on me. So yeah.
So I just think that that's all. Of course, true crime has interested all of us, obviously, or we wouldn't be here discussing any of it. But I don't think that everyone necessarily takes it to that level. And I feel like it almost is mirroring the situation now where it's like, you really think these eye emojis mean that she's watching you like,
oh, interesting.
When she said, people said that they wanted my head on a platter, like you really thought that was a literal, like they want to behead you and put your head on a platter, and other things that was or we want to burn down your kingdom, like all those things, like they literally didn't mean it that way. Like it's just a figure of speech.
I don't know. Is it a habit of her really believing this, or is she attention seeking? Like, because I know I've seen people do that where they'll be over dramatic about stuff. But let me say, like, some of those things I did too. Like, I was listening and I'm like, or excuse my language, that's normal. Like, what do you mean? Like, all kids worry. What if something happens to my parents? I did. I think I was an extra worrier because I would watch the clock. Oh my gosh, they're not here yet. Oh my gosh, as a little kid. Like, we all do stuff like that though. Oh my gosh, you see Home Alone and then you're like, what if robbers come to my house? Where would I hide? You know what I mean?
Definitely like heightened people's like ideas of like, this could happen to me. Like, what would I do? But the difference is you're not going about your adult life with replicating that kind of like, she said that she wanted to have my head on a platter and she must really mean that she's going to kill me. I'm going to spiral this whole thing into, those were threats against me. Like that's not the same. Like it's like, I feel like she might be living in a different reality at times than all of us.
I think she's just extra. For no reason. And I mean, look, you guys remember Shift Happens? Shift Happens used to come in my chat. And I don't know if she came in Allie's chat or your chat, Amber, but Shift Happens used to come in my chat. And every time she came in my chat, she put 2 of the eyeballs in there, just like those. Now, I will give Lauren credit that these are 4, right? Let me make sure. Oh, no, 3. There were 3. Shift only used 1 set of the eyeballs. This is so I don't know if it was the additional 2 sets of eyeballs that were over the top for her and then went from ha ha he he to threatening. I'm not sure, but absolutely ridiculous. I have to put the nugget to bed though. You guys, I gotta go, but I'm listening. Okay.
You're fine. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good night, you guys.
Night night.
Right. Bye. I'm gonna put some eyeballs in the chat.
Oh gosh.
It just reminds me of like
only one.
Like Beavis. I'm the great Cornholio. Are you threatening me? Like, I mean, that's how it is. To me, it's like a joke.
Are you threatening
At
me?
this moment, I require TP for my bunker.
And I'm convinced that she showed. I have another example of maybe, Allie, you'll understand another reason why I feel like she lives in a different reality. And it has to do with, and thank you again, Jen Lou. And guys, check out her channel. Go to the title at the @ and just click on the Ward case studies, and I'll bring you right to Jen and subscribe. So if, she in this podcast also talks about her experience during Chad Daybell's trial. Okay. And
Okay.
this is just another example. It's 2 minutes long, but I feel like this is, to me, like you're living in a different world and reality, I think, than the rest of us. And this is why.
Okay.
Yeah. While it was being played, it was one of the most poignant moments for me in the trial, because when I heard it, I almost like went in like a trance, because like you just said, it was so familiar. He sounded like a patriarch. He did. Giving a patriarchal blessing. I had heard this meek, soft voice before, this religious voice. It sounded not just like the patriarch that gave me my patriarchal blessing, but the men who have given me blessings, the elders who have been giving me blessings, the grandfather who gave me a blessing, the neighbor who gave me a blessing. There was no difference. And this meek, soft voice, I just listened, sort of like, I don't know, like, yeah, I don't know if a trance is the best word, but I almost felt like I was so enveloped in listening to this. And so it was so frightening to me to hear this familiar, it just has this meek, there's just something about this meekness, this false
voice
meekness.
breaking,
yeah,
emotion. Yep.
When he's one of those prideful men there is, and he's got children buried in his backyard, to have this meek voice. And we listened to it. It was long. It was like 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. And when Chad Daybell said amen, I said an audible amen in court. Do you remember that?
Was that just habit?
I think I was so enveloped in the moment and so like, I can't believe this. I was feeling it with every piece of my body. Like, I can't believe this. It was habit, but I was like just so enveloped in the moment of like thinking about it. But I think that also shows like just how a habit familiar it was. I couldn't believe I had said it out loud.
It seemed like it just came out. I remember looking at you like, you said the inside part out loud, Lauren. Yeah. And a few people I think kind of glanced over it. And the moment passed, but I was like, wow, yeah.
And
So I don't know. I mean, if you're covering a trial and you're saying amen out loud after Chad Daybell's blessing to Alex Cox, who helped kill Chad's wife, like, you might need to step away, or like you might need to come back to reality, because habit or not, like, that should have been something that like gave you goosebumps, not something that you accidentally say amen to out loud.
Yeah, you should have been scared to death. Like, you know what I mean? I just cannot believe that you even get to that point. That's pretty crazy to me right there, because think of the evil that Chad Daybell is.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Think of what his little prayer. Oh my gosh, Amber.
Isn't that weird?
Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, give me 1 second. I don't know why this keeps doing it, because they're, hold on, new and nice earbuds, newish.
Sounds fine to me. All right. So chat, you guys see what I'm saying, like, about that instance, like tying it in with her story from her childhood. I feel like, maybe you could argue, like, it seems like there is a pattern of like, maybe your anxiety is at a level that like is, too high or more high than others, or I just don't understand living in a reality where you're saying amen out loud to Chad Daybell. I don't know. I just feel like you might have got a little too close in that case, and maybe you should have stepped away.
Oh my gosh. That is just, yeah, I completely agree with you. It's kind of shocking that you could even get to that point. And I'm sorry, like, my headphones, what are they doing? They just, all of a sudden, I can't hear you guys anymore. And when I before, like last time I did it, I pulled up the microphone, the settings, and I did the test even when we were on the stream, and I could hear the test from StreamYard, like the little noise they do. So I don't know, but hopefully it doesn't happen again. If it does, I'll just refresh real quick. But okay.
You're totally fine. All right. Gosh, let me keep going. All right. So her not being in touch with reality is sort of like I honestly think, and again, this is just my opinion. I have no medical experience or anything like that, but I think that maybe when these trials involving Daybells and the case that really kind of got her out there and a lot of exposure, the fact that it's all concluded, like, is she kind of losing herself?
I don't know, but when it seems like it's almost kind of making yourself part of, like, yes, losing yourself and kind of becoming part of whatever. It's just too close though, because look, nobody, like, everyone in the family has been completely disrespected. Even sitting in the courtroom and audibly saying amen is so disrespectful to those victims in there. And you know what I mean?
She's like, I was so enthralled with it. I was feeling it with
What?
every piece of my body. Why are you feeling things when Chad Daybell is talking?
Yeah, no joke.
I'm like the opposite. I'm not feeling anything when Chad's talking.
Yeah, except for sick.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. I feel sick to my stomach. That's pretty much it. I don't know. I just thought that was sort of alarming in a sense, and tying it in with things that she stated as a kid and like being kept up at night, and it just kind of mirrored what she's kind of describing now. Like, this keeps her up and she's rocking back. It's like, what is going on, honey? Like, without the Daybell case, are you losing like your identity? Are you having some sort of crisis? Like, your looks have changed over time since you've kind of came to YouTube. And the only reason why I bring that up is something that this is all stuff that she stated herself in that podcast. And she said that she never dated. Again, I'm not shaming anyone who doesn't date in high school. I just think that this was noteworthy. She wrote a lot of journals, and she would write self-loathing letters to herself that she was ugly and she didn't have the self-esteem, and she didn't date. She wasn't wanted in her own brain and didn't see how anyone else could want her either. And she was the last one of her friends to have a first kiss. There wasn't any dating. She was taught that we help men by dressing modestly. It's like a
right,
something that they can do to help them because they can't help themselves in a way.
Right. They can't control themselves. Yeah.
Right. And the girls who got attention were cute and wore cute things and looked pretty, and she wanted to be like that. But she was told that she had to be modest. I thought that was all interesting, just a little bit of background stuff, but
That is super interesting. Now I need to go watch it in full on my own, like not listening to clips or somebody review it, because wow, that is very interesting. Just because, like, with her behavior now, you know, and like you said, the change in appearance, which is pretty drastic. You can't help but, with her and the Delphi threats and caring more about the comments about her looks, you know, all of that stuff. It just paints a really interesting picture.
I think so. In all her explanations and discussions on the topic, there is always one theme that continues to seep out and stand out in my mind. And this theme is quotes like she says, like, people who don't like me are talking to other people who don't like me. And my private messages and texts, and my drunk texts, in my opinions, that's where your fear and anxiety is all coming from. Your own doing and your own words. And Kay proved that to me. You try to bash and explain why you would never cover a civil stalking injunction, because this is what she did on that channel, saying that it was unethical. Yet you told your followers once you hit 144,000 members, which this is all reference to the Daybell case because of the 144,000 chosen and how Chad and Lori thought that they were part of it, that you would have a pool party. And now this was something that Kresha and other people have kind of pointed out, like the fact that they stated, her and Grayson stated that to each other, like, once we hit 144K, we'll have a pool party. that seems innocent on its surface, but it's another example of her getting too close in the Daybell case and being tone deaf, because that's referencing the pool party that Lori threw for the family after the day that they killed Charles.
Yeah, it's way too close. I'd be curious because she was doing the news and stuff before she came to YouTube, right? And because I've seen the clips. So, what did she go to school for? Do you know?
I'm not sure. She might explain that in the podcast. I honestly, like, I kind of skipped around in both parts 1 and 2, but she actually might explain that because she does go into like a lot of her background. It's pretty much a whole story about her. Whereas
All about
before
her.
we just discussed like the Daybell cases and Ruby Frankie and stuff like that. But this was like, they said like, oh, we've been talking about doing this for a while and now we're finally doing it. It's like the timing is interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I just ask because I'm curious, when you go to school for journalism, like what the standards are for your ethics and boundaries in some of these things that you're covering. You know what I mean? Because it's, I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It is interesting. More examples of being tone deaf in reference to the Daybell case and how she might have lost touch of reality is her examples of comparing herself to, like everyone's been exposing, and Kay and Kresha exposed this, and I thank them for speaking their truth, even though they got the copyright claim on it and it was taken down. That she compared herself to Tylee and to Charles Vallow, using this situation to garner support, proclaiming because you were outspoken like Tylee, this was happening to you, and that you could wind up like Tylee because you're outspoken. You said you felt like Charles because no one was listening to you, comparing yourself to a real victim of DV and murder, as if your situation is the same as what happened in the Vallow case. You even said amen to Chad Daybell's blessing to Alex Cox out loud in court. You are either severely tone deaf or you're living in a different reality than everyone else.
Yeah, perfectly said. And it's the truth. I'd be curious if she ever listens to any of these things about her, because I just love the way you're like speaking directly to her. And I would love if she did. Because it's part of me is like, is it like, wake up? Can you actually see that this is all you're doing? And it's all, not just the fact that you brought it to YouTube, but the fact that it all stems from things you said in the first place. Like, this is all on you. Can she grasp that, or is she so far beyond and out of a touch that she's not going to be able to grasp that?
I think she's using her husband's intellect and title to just kind of explain and excuse everything. I just don't think that she's the type of person to self-reflect and be like, I need to tap out and kind of really take time. Like that, to me, instead of going back covering true crime like she is doing, I think to me that speaks a lot. Like if this was me and I was handling it the way she was, I would, but again, I'm not her, but I would reflect and be like, wow, like maybe this route of like, hiding behind your husband's like PhD, like maybe the 3.5 hour, like we respond, like wasn't the route to go. But it seems like they're just like, it is what it is. And now we're going to move on and continue.
Yeah, it totally does. No, that's not really fair. And not only that, you've slandered the hell out of this woman. Hey, Carolina. And yeah, if she was the type of person to self-reflect, she would have. But more than that, is she even capable? Like, because I'm self-reflecting all the time. I can't help it. I think part of that is being in recovery. You kind of learn to take your own inventory, and that's like a big deal. You know what I mean?
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't know.
Different roads. We've walked different. That's another thing that I realized in this whole thing too, Allie, is like her upbringing and the path that she's taken is totally different than mine and from what I know about yours.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe I have tried to give her grace and been like, well, maybe I'm just not seeing it because like I'm totally like opposite of her in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? But then I'm like, no, there's so many things that have just added up where I'm like, I know when everyone is being manipulated by somebody, and covering the cases that we've covered, Letitia,
Yeah.
Casey Anthony, Jodi
yeah.
Arias. Sorry, but these are Nicole Kessinger in the Watts case. These are very manipulative people. And why is it that I'm seeing the patterns that we see in these cases? Again, I'm not comparing her to a murderer in the sense that like she's going to do it next. I'm just saying like you can have a manipulative personality and not be a murderer, and people can still compare you to people who have gone the lengths of like the crimes that those women have done.
Yeah. Well, I'm so like, I think it's important to clarify that because there'll be that one person or even her that would twist that into, oh my God, like Letitia, Casey Anthony, Jodi Arias, they've done horrible things. But it's not about that. It's about the behavior and the manipulation aspect, that psychological aspect. Take the crime out of it. Not about that at all. So
exactly. And another thing that she let the narrative run free, even though she could have cleared it up, was a lot of people were under the impression that Christina got served the TPO and then flew to CrimeCon. But once it came out in the body cam and the statements, we realized that like Christina was informed by her husband, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And so she was never served in person until she got to Colorado. And then, of course, she was served in person and was made aware of it. But I'm just pointing out the fact that there were people, and even, she just let it run free that like, yeah, she got served this and then she still came. It's like, but that's not exactly what happened, but you're letting it be painted that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. So way up with the whole CrimeCon thing altogether, but it's pretty messed up. Like that Christina, I got her ticket so long before. I just think it's the way that, and I guess they have to be like that to protect the victims of actual, stalking and harassment. You have to be like extra cautious, and it just sucks, that it worked out like that because those little things, when she gets her way, that's what makes a monster like this, in my opinion, is like a life, like is maybe not a lifetime, but a long time of getting your way. And you know what I mean? Being able to manipulate. See, Letitia, that's another thing. Like she also did that. And I think that Letitia thought that she was so good. Like she even bragged at times of how good she was at like manipulating people and making people think stuff. She wasn't that good at it. It was obvious. It's just people gave her way because it was difficult and they didn't want to deal with it. So it's easier to just go, okay, whatever, that's fine. You know what I mean? To just move on through life.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that too, but that's what builds a monster like that, in my opinion.
Right. The more that they kind of get away with like, oh, I'm going to take advantage of this and I got away with taking advantage of that. So let me keep going and going and going. I could totally see it escalating to where it is. She sent them an email before she even got there. It's like, don't you think that they got other things to do? Like, don't you think if it's to the point where like, I wanted to contact law enforcement before I went there, maybe you just shouldn't go?
Yeah, maybe don't go. It's not that they're not busy with the event or something, like a huge event, CrimeCon too. Like that's
right. You're not scared. This to me is the perfect little clip of the body cam to portray that like she's not scared. And she's waving to Jerry Holman, who was the lieutenant in the Delphi case. And a lot of people said that they stopped watching her because of the Delphi case. I never really understood why, because I was kind of not in true crime, like on postpartum. So I never really watched her coverage on Delphi. But from what I've gathered, they kind of hid behind the PhD and her husband's profession to give their opinion that there was no confirmation bias in the Delphi case. And they used their huge platform to kind of promote like, no, that's not true. And if you think that there was confirmation bias and you're a conspiracy theorist, like to me, I think that is gross. Like, and then like, here she is waving to him as if they're BFF, like in the body cam. Go ahead.
Well, play it, and then I'll tell you after, like, my thoughts on the Delphi thing. Perfect. If you want.
Oh, and there's Lieutenant. Go grab Lieutenant.
Perfect.
Oh, and there's Lieutenant. Go grab Lieutenant.
Hey. She's so scared, but hey.
I'm so scared for my life right now.
Yeah. Sorry, I know you wanted to play that. So, okay, so for me, Amber, honestly, I've never watched her like that. Occasionally, I was subscribed, and if a big interview or something happened, I would watch. So during Delphi, I actually did tune in because we didn't. We couldn't see it or hear it, right? So you really, in the moment, want to hear from people who were there. And I watched a day or two and I could not watch anymore only because she was just official narrative going with this Richard Allen is a monster. Like, and also it was kind of like, because one of them that I saw, actually, I think I saw one at the very end too, because you don't understand. You weren't here. You didn't see it all in person. Like they got their guy, and just the way that she was so dead set on that. And I was already so open to hearing both sides. I really didn't want to just be told, no, that listen to this. I want to see it all. And so I was out. Like I didn't want to go back to her for
A
the
lot of
coverage
people
anymore.
said that because think about that case. How many years passed before they even arrested Richard Allen, and then how he was being treated while he was in jail before his trial? Like that was a perfect case for Dr. John to come out and be like, I believe that he could have been experiencing a psychological break because of the way that he was being treated in jail before his trial. Like that is the perfect case for a doctor's opinion where it could have gone in the opposite way and would have been like, oh yeah, this is interesting because a lot of people have been arguing that like he made those false confessions because he was being treated a certain way, or he was kind of told to say this and that, and him being in prison around those Odinist guys, like all that should have come to the forefront of their expert and opinion and professional opinion in the case. But yet, because they sided with the family and buddied up with the family, they went with the narrative that the state was pushing. And of course, the families, they're allowed their opinion, absolutely. But it just seemed like your reporting and your opinion is being based off of the fact that the family is the ones giving you the interviews.
Yeah. And you know what? You're right. Like, wouldn't that have been fascinating to hear a psychologist really truly look at both sides of the argument and give you the points of each side, like in that case specifically because of that. But yeah,
Didn't happen, unfortunately. And a lot of people in my comment section said that they left them because of that. And now I totally understand why. So in reference to her talking about her anxiety and her depression and her stuff to the court, I thought it was interesting in this footage how there is a can of Celsius, and I don't know if it's Lauren's, but it looks like it's right near her bag and it's closest to her. So I'm under the assumption that maybe she was drinking that. And again, it's not alcoholic, but it does have more caffeine in it than a cup of coffee does. And even coffee, in my experience, and a lot of people I know, can heighten people's anxiety, like the caffeine.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because it increases your heart rate. So, of course,
Yeah, so I thought that it was interesting that like they're presenting to the courts like, this is because of Christina and I can't sleep and I'm rocking and
yeah.
I can't get over that. I'm sitting up rocking awake at night and I can't sleep and I have anxiety and I have these dark thoughts and all this stuff. Meanwhile, there's a whole table filled with the energy drink and alcohol. And I'm like, maybe that's what's been giving you a little bit of anxiety and depression, because both have been linked to depression and anxiety. And you guys just look like a bunch of like, I'm sorry, but I feel like there's enough circumstantial evidence to kind of lean towards there could be maybe substance abuse with alcohol involved in this, only because she stated herself, drunk text messages.
Yep.
And if you're sending text messages that you're really worried about and you shouldn't be saying or sending, and maybe you should put the bottle down and your phone down and not do them both.
Yeah. Oh, we're texting that Amber. When I heard that very first night, it was like that was a big, huge red flag. Sirens going off, alarm bells. Like, they're we text over cocktails and stuff. However, she said it. There was one point when they were talking about, she went through 6 years of messages. I just thought, there's something in those texts, or you would not have added the over cocktails.
Yeah. So I just feel like in their own statements, somebody maybe in chat, they can clarify, or if you know, Allie, somebody said in the 3.5 hour, and thank you, Mama Bling. That's such a kind comment to say. Somebody mentioned in the 3.5 hour stream that John was reading through like symptoms and things that she was suffering from. And one of them was, he said substance abuse or something like that. And he was like, yep, or something like that. I don't know, because I don't have the minute mark, but I'm wondering if chat knows, or if you know, like, did that take place?
Wait, repeat it again. I was looking at the chat and zoned out, and I missed what you said. I'm so
You're fine.
sorry.
You know, chat is going, they got a lot of good stuff that they're talking
Yes,
about.
they do. Sorry.
Somebody said, and I can't remember, and I don't have the minute mark, but if this isn't true, then I'm putting the disclaimer out there, might not be 100% accurate, that he was reading through things that she's suffering from, like in his book of like stalking and cyberbullying. And one of the things had something to do with like substance abuse, and he like put a check next to it or something, made a comment that like maybe that was involved. But again, this is just stuff. I don't have the minute mark, but if somebody knows what I'm talking about, then let me know.
Okay, I don't think I heard of that. Actually, yeah, I don't think I heard of that. Yes, he did say that, as well as attempts at taking there. I heard that part, but I did not watch all of the 9 hours. Anyways, I know a lot of people sit through it in segments and everything. I didn't see it, all of it. There's no way I could. Like, I was just like, nope, I'm not going to. We're gonna like wait until it's over, and then hear people like, and then everything kind of just spun out so fast with the documents and the evidence and everything. But
okay, it seems like some in chat are saying like, yes, he did say that. I would love a minute mark just to kind of have my own receipt and hear it, but it does seem like that was something mentioned, and he kind of put a check next to it.
Check.
It's the only reason why I bring that up is because I feel like alcohol played a part in some of this drama and emotions and feelings of maybe even depression, because there's people who drink and then the next day after drinking, they're extremely depressed because of the effects. So I'm just wondering, like, just like we kind of wondered, why didn't John suggest she go check in after having these dark thoughts? Like, why? Maybe a suggestion of like maybe getting some professional help for a substance problem could be at a good time to do it, since it seems like by this visual evidence that there was lemon drops and alcohol. I mean, that's made with vodka. This stuff, this is strong. They're strong drinks, and you can hear it in her voice and Grayson's voice, like as they're trying to capture quote unquote evidence to use against Christina, but they're all drunk.
Yeah, it definitely played a part. And let me correct myself. It was, of course, it was the response, because that's when he had the book. And I did watch that. So I don't know how I missed it, but I know that if the extension is still up, it's been messed up the last few times, but I have the YouTube comment search extension, or we could just do the copy F and search the transcript for when he says check, and probably pull it up like that.
Okay, DB, it says the stream is glitching. Is it me? Is it Allie? Is it you got to refresh the stream sometimes? Let me know, because we will work on whatever we need to. But yeah, I just think that it's noteworthy to use this type of visual evidence against Christina when it just seems like your guys' perception of reality at the time was not 100% of a sober mind at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just knowing alcohol, it would have to play a role, whether it was a huge one or not, but it just makes your emotions more intense and,
Yeah. So I'm just going to play the exhibits showing the alcohol just to get it out there and back up as receipts to what I'm theorizing.
She was recording me, so I did what you did. I just like waved, and then she proved she was by just flipping me off as I waved. Like, I'm like, I don't know what. Don't stare. Don't stare at me. I do. Remember what we decided. Thank you. Please do not give them air.
About today?
What?
About today? You sent her a cease and desist. You had the cops call Christina about stuff that you shouldn't be waving at her. You shouldn't be coming, talking to her. You should be staying far away from her.
So the cops have nothing to do with what
Like, I feel like Lauren sounds drunk, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, agree. I do agree.
And this woman is saying, you sent her a cease and desist. You shouldn't be waving at her. Like, where's the footage of all that happening?
Doesn't she kind of sound drunk to you too?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
Which is like, okay, so you all went there and you did your little business trip, crime con, and then you all drank and then let that like get like a fire underneath the situation.
I was asking about a seat. I walked away.
You said Lindsay. You said Lindsay. Lindsay. Is anyone sitting here? Don't talk to her.
Lindsay's in her 30s. She can talk to her. Lindsay's in her 30s. Lindsay can talk to her.
Talking to you.
Lindsay doesn't want to talk to her. She said her cease and desist letter. Why would Lindsay talk to her?
The cease and desist is letter to Christina, and the police calling Christina. I didn't request that.
I can't hear
Someone,
you.
just someone that
Just stop acting like nothing happened, that you haven't done anything.
I haven't done anything, and I will stand by that forever. Yeah, it has nothing to do with you guys. It has nothing to do with
We are her
this.
friends, and we will back her up till the day
A cease and
she dies.
desist is a legal business thing. It has nothing to do with you guys.
That you did. You in that.
What did I do?
Things, you accused her of things you did.
What did I
You
do?
sent her cease and desist, and then
What
you
did I
approached
do?
her. You approached her after you
A
sent
cease
her
and
a cease and
desist?
desist. Why would you want to approach her after you sent her a cease and desist?
I asked if I could
I know. I
sit.
told her there
I was
wasn't.
at a press conference.
So then she kept asking. I know. What does that have to do with anything?
When there's not a lot of seats, you say
There were lots of empty seats she could have sat at, but she chose to ask about sitting. She chose to specifically approach somebody by name that she sent a cease and desist to. It's just like,
great. Guess what? You know what? I work with Lindsay, and she tried to get me sued. So guess what? I don't give a fuck.
I don't know you.
well, you know me. You don't know
No,
me.
I have your phone number because I wanted to get eyelash extensions, but we've never hung out.
No,
I don't know you. So could you please get away from our table because you're making me uncomfortable. I don't know you. I don't know why you guys approached us. We asked about a seat at a press conference. I don't approach you guys when we're all hanging out together. You guys, I know. So you're approaching me while I'm trying to have dinner. I approached you at a press conference about a seat. Could you please? She's bothering us. Could you tell her to leave us alone? I don't know her. I've never communicated with her. Sorry.
I'm sorry, but that woman was pointing out some inconsistencies. You approached her and talked to her, but you sent her a cease and desist. You shouldn't be doing that. Lauren's being called out on stuff that is legitimate. Why did you do that? And now, did she say to the server, she's bothering us?
Yeah, get her. She's bothering us. And then she says another one of her
staff as if they're her servants.
Yeah. And then she uses another one of her like trigger words in it. I can't remember what it was now. Like I feel threatened. I don't know, something like that.
I don't know you.
Yeah. I cannot believe though, Amber, just speaking of like alcohol, the fact that you chose that to put as an exhibit, like what did you think that was going to prove?
So you're using this exhibit of you belligerent, being rude to the wait staff, and having someone call you out on something that contradicts, like when you send someone a cease and desist, it's like, I'm done with you, like, and you better be done with me. And yet all you want to know is like, then why are you approaching her? You shouldn't be doing that. And like I was a server for like a long, long time. I can tell you those servers saw what was going on at that table, and they were in the back talking shit about Lauren and Grayson. They're like, I don't know what the hell's going on in my table, but there's like middle-aged women and this like one young drunk woman, and they're causing a scene. Like I'm telling you, like I've been that server, and they were all in the back laughing at them. And probably seeing she's so rude, she literally asked me to remove somebody from her presence as if I'm her little servant.
That's pretty funny though to think of, because they saw this happening long before she got their attention too.
Oh yeah.
So I just want to explain what happened. Here's Grayson. Here am I. I have been sitting here because
Still drunk.
This is where it is. And now, after they had dinner, they're sitting across. He felt threatened. I told him he felt threatened. And now here they all are.
You're filming them, and then at one point Grayson in one of these videos talks about who's still there and who left and who's walking in and out. It's like, why do you know more about their whereabouts? Like, when you're saying that you're threatened, you should be leaving. Go somewhere where you can't even see anyone that they're associated with.
Yeah. Why is that? Why is it so important to be? Well, I guess it is at the hotel, but still. Agree.
They wanted to drink.
Go up to your room.
Right.
Sitting across at a different restaurant getting my drinks. It's Lindsay, it's Lori, and they're looking. And I feel like we can't leave, and now we feel frightened. And one thing they said, we've been very drama-free all afternoon. We worked the same trial. And one thing they said as they approached our table is stop acting like nothing's wrong. We're just trying to be professional while we cover trials together. That's our waiter, and we asked him to get rid of them. And we now feel like we can't leave. And they're all sitting in there. I'm looking side-eye. I don't want to look over because they're like waiting for us, and so I'm not leaving.
She even admits that she asked the waiter to remove them or whatever. It's like, you are so tone deaf with how entitled and privileged you sound. The waiter's job is to wait on you in regards to your food and your drinks. Sounds like maybe you should stop drinking.
Yeah, get out of the clouds. It's like, she doesn't remind me of Jen Soda, but it's that same kind of idea. And I know other people in real life who are just like so in their own world, they're not even grasping the reality around them at all. They don't see it.
And doesn't that happen a lot when you're drinking?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
I'm not going to play all this. I will just kind of shift through and just state the things that I see. I think that this was very much like attention seeking. Like, if they wanted to kind of handle this privately, like, I kind of would have expected Lauren or Grayson to be like, can we just go off in this corner? It just seemed like she was okay with kind of standing out in the hallway, like, or in the walkway, and like being seen talking to the cops. Like, she wanted, because at one point she says in one of these, like, oh, I just saw one of their friends and I just wanted to make sure that, it's like, don't worry about them, or go somewhere that you're like, can we talk over here? Like, to me, it just seemed like she was using this whole thing as like, I'm going to get attention and people need to know that I've involved the cops. So they better not believe a single word Christina has been saying about me. Like, I'm the one over here, like, with the cop. And look at me, I'm dressed all professional and I have my Louis Vuitton and I'm sending the servers at the restaurant to get rid of them for me. Like, that's how I see all this.
I mean, they are standing right out in the middle. And I mean, a 9-hour live rocking and screaming, crying and rocking in your bed, like, it is attention seeking behavior. So,
yeah, I think so too. I mean, like I said, I looked at this so many different directions and I just don't see it as the way that Lauren was painting it. I really don't. It's like sickening. This is like loading. Just give it a second. But there was also a moment in the body cam where she's like, oh, thank you so much, officers. Or is it detective? And they were like, oh, no, we're officers. We're not that cool. And I'm thinking she was either, one, blowing smoke up their butts so that they thought like, oh, she thought we were a detective. Or two, she's so tone deaf and thinking that she's so important that they're going to send detectives to deal with this. Like, no.
Probably 1 and 2. It's 1 and 2.
Right. Like, no, honey, they're not sending detectives to deal with your like crime con situation that you brought on yourself. Like, why would you think? I just don't understand like this whole thing. Like, honestly, like it really pisses me off. I don't know. This is like not. I got so many tabs open. I don't know. It's like keep doing. Let me just do this.
Yeah, refresh.
Come on.
There we go.
Yeah, it's mute. Hold on.
I just wanted to look down for a second. I promise.
My partner and I, we explained that.
Why that? He's friends with her. He's friends with her, so I just wanted to look down for a second. I promise.
My partner and I, we explained.
Hold on. I gotta hear that again. Sorry.
Lauren and I'm Grayson.
Okay. So, did you get a copy of this yet?
Yeah, we provided them to you guys.
Okay. So you already have a copy. So we'll give you another copy.
Okay. Hi,
So
sorry, there was somebody walking by that. Friends with her. He's friends with her, so I just wanted to look down for a second. I promise.
My partner and I, we explained everything to her, what she can and can't do, where she can be and can't be. And we thoroughly explained it. If she does violate it, she will be arrested.
Thank you. So, and she understands.
Yeah, we gave her, it's official. We served her, gave her a copy. I already have the NCIC hit. We just got to call our records and say that we served her with a copy of it.
Okay. Thank
So,
you guys.
I'll get you a business card. We just got to write a quick little report that we served it, and then we can have it for your records.
Thank you, officers or detectives. Sorry, I don't know.
Officers.
Okay. What were your guys' names? Yeah.
Raymer.
Vaughn and Raymer.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
officers. We appreciate Aurora. You guys have. I was talking to Bobby Joe this morning. I was like, this is the first people that have listened to us.
Well, we got information emailed to us the other day.
Yeah.
So we kind of already had a heads up of what was going on.
Yeah.
So, but with these, they're not official until you put a copy in somebody's hand.
Right. Right. And that's happened now.
So now she has a copy of it. I left it with her. So.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Real fast, I'm wondering if I just get your, you have like a sure. Just like I said, just like put it in.
Absolutely, I understand. Yeah. Just.
Here comes the wave.
Okay. Oh, there's a book out
And then real fast, if I could just get your phone number. Or
It is.
the phone number I called works.
I also thought it was interesting that like she had like the phone number they had was Grayson's, and it's like you're just using her to do like all the bitch work. Like, why? It's interesting to me that all this stuff has taken place and they're kind of just now gathering her like personal information.
The smirk on Grayson's face when they said that she would be arrested if she violate, like, yeah, and we will arrest her if she however they said that just a second ago. The smirk was just like, oh my God, wow. Okay.
Hey, Keenly. And yeah, I agree. They're very pleased with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Phone number, pardon?
The phone.
If they have your phone number, do you want to give them mine too? Probably.
So they redacted it.
I don't want to. It'll do more. It'll do more work.
Right.
Perfect. Yep. Like I said, we're just going to write a quick little report that we served.
Thank you. Okay.
And then she is aware that it's no phone contact, like you said. So if there's any messages that are sent, emails, anything like that, that's a violation.
He wasn't even doing any of that.
Yeah, she's been putting threats on social media, but I think that it's on there. It's actually on
she's
there.
not.
What?
Yeah.
Threats? Huh.
She's been putting threats on social media, and he's saying, I want to make sure there's no messages. Blah, blah. They weren't messaging each other. Like that had stopped, from my understanding.
I don't want to. We'll do more.
That we served.
Thank you.
And then she is aware that it's no phone contact, like you said. So if there's any messages that are sent, emails, anything like that, that's a violation of it.
Yeah, she's been putting threats on social media, but I think that it's on there.
It's
Yeah, she's not allowed to do any of that.
Okay. And she knows no TikTok.
She knows everything. I
She
said it's
was
a
given a copy,
I
yeah.
said it's a no contact order. I said read over it. Whatever the judge puts in here, we can't deviate from it, and we'll be arrested if you violate this.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
We appreciate it. Thank
No
you,
problem.
officers. I appreciate it.
You guys have a good time.
Thank you. We feel relieved. Thank you.
We feel relieved. Thank you. And she knows no TikTok. Oh, so that's what this is about.
Yep, exactly.
You're not in fear of your life. You want her to stop posting TikToks that only you know is about you.
Yeah, and she did a threat the other day. You're a liar, lady.
Yes, because she's been sending threats on. I have yet. How come that threat on social media isn't included in any of this?
Yeah. Surely that would have been in your exhibit since that drunk bar video was,
Right. Exactly. And like you're manipulating these these officers on body camera. There was no threat. So she was sending you on social media and you just lied to law enforcement here. So in my opinion, you've also lied to a bunch of other people too.
Yep.
I don't even know like what is in this one, but I just want to see her real quick.
Okay.
Oh, I think it's muted.
Sorry.
There we go.
Lauren? Lauren Jason. Okay, perfect.
So, did you get a copy of this yet?
Yeah, we provided them to you guys.
Okay. Does she already have a copy? Okay. So we'll give you another copy.
Okay. Hi.
So,
Sorry, there was somebody walking by that
you're
is friends with her, so I just wanted to look down for a second.
Oh my God.
All right. We already saw that part, but yeah.
The angle though is, I don't know that angle. Was that a different angle?
I think it was the other guy's body cam
Yeah.
of the same thing, but regardless, I think we've come to the conclusion, like you don't look like you're in fear for your life there. And you're over there like standing out so everyone can see you and you're waving and you're stepping away to make sure that when you wave to Jerry Holman, like he sees you. Like it's just very much like if you were in a state of like, oh my gosh, I'm in fear of my life, you're not going to take the time to step away from the officers who are there to help and protect you to wave to somebody that you've done work with in the Delphi case.
More attention, that is like currency with her, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally at dinner, enjoying a dinner, and they're coming up to me and making me feel unsafe when I'm not doing anything. And I'm telling them to leave me alone. It's like I'm not even like doing anything. It'd be one thing if I was going up to them. But guess what? I stay away. All they do everywhere in public is film me.
No, I know. They film me over. We just do our work.
So what? Because we didn't answer the filming, now they confront us? What's next? This is when people get murdered. We're in this. We see this.
We're in this. We see this. You're in too deep, I think. I think you need to step away.
Yeah, maybe you need to get out for a little bit.
Yeah, and maybe the alcohol is like kind of heightening like your fear right now or the emotions you're feeling. I just don't understand like having that be as part of this like whole evidence.
Well, she's sitting there crying and you're like, oh wait, this would be great evidence. Let me get this out. I mean? Like
it's like she thought, oh well, no, I'm showing how much this has upset Grayson. It's like, but she's drunk. And the statement you're gathering from her and the emotions and the feeling of this video is that of a drunk mind. You're not sober. She's not sober. How are you presenting this as evidence to be like, see, look what's being done to us?
Right. Look how it's emotionally affecting this drunk person.
Right. Oh, just ignore the fact that they have alcohol in their system. Like, no. Can't ignore it. So I think that this quote unquote threatening voicemail is just bullshit as well. I'm sure you agree, but I'm curious what your thoughts are of this. It's coming.
Hey, Lauren, it's Liz. Let me remind you, Liz, I know you don't recall my name, but I actually think you do recall my name. But I'd like to talk to you for a second. I'd like to talk to you about number one, I guess, why you don't remember my name. But number two, I'd like to talk to you about why you are so upset about texts that you have sent to me,
text messages
in group chats about other people who I'm sure you don't. I'm sure it's hard to admit that you have said those things about those people, but I want to clear it up with you. So I would appreciate if you would call me back. No, not trying to be threatening or anything. I would truly like to clarify maybe where I'm missing something. So if you would please give me a call back, I would appreciate it. My number is.
So she's saying, I'm not meaning to sound threatening. And it sounds like you're worried about text messages that, you said to me and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, also drunk, likely it sounds like, but that's besides the point. Did that email or voicemail sound threatening to you? It almost seemed like she kind of tried to clarify, like, I'm not meaning for this to come across threatening. I just want to know, like, sounds like you're worried about the text messages that you've sent me.
It doesn't sound threatening, like physically threatening. I mean, could I think that she's kind of saying, hey, you sent these texts, maybe threatening to expose you? Maybe. I don't know. I guess I could maybe, but that's not.
You might get the vibe that, like, I feel like this voicemail is saying that, like, she has dirt on me and she might release it. But that, again, it goes back to, but did you say things that you should be worried about?
Yeah, exactly. And is that that's not a reason for a protection order or a stalking injunction. Unfortunately, if you are a public figure and you're out here doing shitty stuff, then people are going to expose it. They have every right if it's the truth. So
I'm almost done. I just want to kind of wrap up, like, with my final thoughts and conclude everything to kind of make it out there and for people to see, because people have already stated on X that and on my video that this wasn't Kay speaking on Crush's channel.
Oh my God.
That's not Kay's voice.
Wow.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes. So I'm putting this out there. Again, this is from Conspiracy. It originally was stated on Difficult Research, who is Krusha, who is Kay's daughter. Obviously, they are related to Charles Vallow and JJ, and they were the victims in the Daybell case that Lauren, quote unquote, worked with. I just want to get this message out there again, just to include it on my channel so that I can kind of source it too. So I just want to hear this and to play it for everybody and to reiterate, like, this was in fact Kay. This is Kay speaking.
Murder and exploitation go together. I mean, they're hand in hand.
Okay, let me stop there. Exploitation. I did not feel exploited by Lauren and John at all.
What if it looked like it?
Okay, well, but no, that's not exploitation. That's us saying, okay, yeah, here's our story. You go with it. And that's a permission. That's all of it. But now that she's getting her reputation attacked.
That's her fault. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now she's using our name to make it seem like, oh no, but make it seem like
she had lunch with you the next day or something.
She's name dropping me and Larry like we're her BFF when no, we're not actually a BFF. I mean, I don't talk to her very often, but I do talk to her and I did consider her a dear friend. But again, she's taking advantage of us. But for some reason, everybody thinks we are credible, and which we are credible. We are.
Well, it's because of how this is. She's using your name,
our name, to make her look like she's credible and she's got virtue and she's
Yeah, she's a moral
whatever that-
crusader. I'm using their
Yeah.
words.
Yes,
I love
thank you.
Nora.
Okay, thank you. I'm again. I'm searching for words here, and
sorry.
so
That was a phone number on there.
I mean, that's
Ah.
when she crossed my line. She crossed the line when she hurt Gigi. She crossed the line, and I still turned. I turned my head. She crossed the line when she was trash talking us
Mhm.
behind our back. She crossed the line when she compared herself to my dead brother,
And a murdered girl.
who was
A
my
kid.
murdered brother, who I
Yeah.
was very close to, and who I love very much. And then she's compared herself to Kylie, who was a 17-year-old girl
16.
who was sick. Well, sick. Okay, 16. I'm sorry.
She was brutally murdered, and
who was
there's
brutally
no
murdered,
freaking
and whose
comparison.
mother had kept strife in her life the entire time. And she always and I've learned this word, triangulated. She always triangulated Colby. Well, I'm not going to talk about Colby. That's for Colby to talk about.
So yeah, initially they didn't feel like they were being exploited, and they knew that Lauren was helping them get their story out, like during the case investigation and during the trial. And it wasn't until my understanding of all this, it wasn't until the 9.5-hour live stream where Lauren is kind of name dropping them as if like, you know, don't believe that I've said bad things about them. Like, see, I'm cool with them. And like, we talk and we're, and Kay and Larry and Crushes saw through that and they called her out on it. And what does Lauren decide to do? Copyright claim on Crushes live stream where Kay spoke like that.
Yep, to get it taken down, and that's it. And by the way, it's going back up in a few days. That's just what happens when you don't really plan on taking someone to copyright court. But no, you're right. And I got to give it to Kay. I appreciate her saying, look, no, I didn't feel exploited at this point. And that point, I gave her permission. You know, even looking back now, if I like, it was almost as if she was saying, no matter what, even if it looked like it, even if it looked like now looking back, it might look like it. I gave permission. You know, so that's at the end of that. But once it got to the point of comparing herself to my brother, who I was close to and loved, and then use it like no, I cannot. It's so insulting. So yeah, I appreciate her words.
Charles was a real victim who, unfortunately, law enforcement, if they had like listened to him like and took him more serious, this is like another layer in that whole case. Maybe something could have been prevented, but he wasn't heard. And it's a tragedy. Like, and that specific element in the case is tragic because of the body cam of Charles and like her using this whole emotional aspect of the case, like, oh, Charles wasn't being listened to, and I feel like him. Don't you dare compare yourself. This situation of people kind of exposing the truths about you, because I've seen, you know, Sleuthy Goosey, you put a copyright claim on her fair use interview with Criminality of like Delphi coverage. Awen has talked about being silenced and bullied by her. Lori Hellis has come out and talked about being silenced and bullied by her. You know, all these things are coming out and it's consistent. You copyright claim Crusha when her mother is stating this stuff. Like it's clear as day that you can't take the criticism and you don't want your image tainted.
Yep. You so transparent.
Herself to Charles because nobody's listening to her. I call bullshit. That was so disrespectful. It was unconscionable. It was so wrong. Don't claim to be there for the victims when you're claiming to be a victim yourself and using a victim as you're comparing yourself as being a victim. My brother, come on, what the hell? Think about it. Compared when I saw she compared.
Oh, it's freaking sad, man.
And something else I noticed, which kind of goes along with Sweet Melissa's comment, she said, I'm sure there are many victims' families she did this to. Lauren is afraid more will come out, shaming her for using the victims. I feel like, because a lot of people were critical of Dr. John's analysis of Olivia Goncalves' victim statement to Brian Koberger, and they're like, why are they like critiquing her victim statement that she chose to say to him? But that Dr. John went on this whole like analysis of it, and like it got me thinking, like, were they like butthurt that the Goncalves like didn't come on their channel.
And worked with Olivia or something instead. Probably. I gotta watch that. I've seen so many comments about his critiques of Olivia in that statement.
Yeah, I seen a little bit of it and I was like, yeah, like this is just like cringe. Like, who are you to say like what she's saying like she shouldn't be saying?
Yeah. Hello.
It's a victim statement, not what you
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
My only kind of interaction with her was when she copyright struck me. And that was when she did the interview. She did one interview with Jerry Holman from the Delphi case. And I actually want to say that that was like the first interview that he did after the sentencing. And it was like maybe an hour long. I did 2 lives doing an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I'll give her an hour and a half. 2 like 3-hour lives, maybe even 4 with Teresa to cover an hour and a half interview. That's how often we were stopping for commentary. 90% of the commentary was entirely about Gary Holman. And she copyright struck me for both.
Wow. For fair use, which
It was.
is protected on. I just wanted that in there just to kind of, and Sleuthy Goosey talks more about that like in the live stream that I did with her. But, you know, it just shows a pattern. It shows a clear pattern of her trying to silence critics. Like Criminality, Teresa and Sleuthy Goosey went through the Delphi case with a fine-tooth comb and they had amazing coverage on it. Like I watched a lot of the Delphi stuff through them. And it was the total opposite narrative that Lauren was pushing.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, so because they don't agree with you and they're using your interview that like you're supposed to be doing the public a service and they're doing their fair use with it as well, but you didn't like how they were doing it and actually wrote in the copyright claim that people were going to Sleuthy Goosey's channel to watch the interview instead of ours. And it's like her channel is like 15,000 people compared to your 300,000+. It's just like gross. You know what I mean?
So gross. And was it because she said 90%? I would have to watch their video, I guess. I'd be curious, like, did they critique her interview style or anything and she got butthurt? She just couldn't take the criticism at all? Or was it just that they disagreed with the narrative?
I think it could have been a little bit of both. But the fact of it is, like, you know, and I know, like,
again, just play this. Let me refresh.
Okay. Even if she criticized the way that the interview was done, like all that is fair use. And it just, you know, and I know that you agree that it doesn't excuse her like putting the copyright claim on it just because they were criticizing the way that the interview went. You know, like she should know by now that like even when she did mainstream media and broadcasting that like, yeah, there probably is going to be comments about the way you might have reported something and you just have to deal with that.
Yeah, you would think by now she would understand that. Dude, I'm not using the AirPods anymore because this is driving me nuts. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
Tap
Like,
in. I want to hear your answers. And then, damn, it goes mute. And I get so mad.
Now you have to watch the replay. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to make you do that. All right. So couple more. I'm telling you, there's only like maybe less than 10 minutes left. Okay. And you can hop off anytime you need to, Alex, too. Okay. Because I don't want to.
No, I'm trying. I'm going to hang in here with you.
Okay. So this was something that Jay put out, and this has something to do with Dr. John's meltdown, as a lot of people have pointed out. And in my opinion, like, people have said like, oh, look how fragile his ego is. And he got so mad here. And I believe that all this is just a facade. Like I believe, because this little meltdown was about Lori Hellis. At this point, Lori Hellis has spoken out on channels and basically dragged Lauren and spoke her truth and backed it up with receipts. And I believe that Dr. John and Lauren are threatened by the stuff that Lori Hellis knows about them and could tell about them. And John was using his own emotional manipulation against their support or towards their supporters and followers to kind of make it seem like he's so upset and he's so mad at what this person did to them. And he's so offended. And so that everyone thinks like, wow, you know what, whatever Lori Hellis is saying, like, you know, she really upset Dr. John, and seeing him throw his glasses. Like, I'm not going to believe anything that Lori says. And I just feel like, much like Lauren, they put on this act of like, I'm so emotional and I'm so upset. Like, and it's mostly to garner like this like sympathy from people who are like, oh, wow, you know, like, I never seen him throw his glasses before. It's just so freaking scripted to me. And a lot of look how unhinged he looks, and his ego is very fragile. That all might be true, but I feel like this emotion is just not. Like, I feel like if he's mad in this, it's because he's mad at what Lori Hellis could and has already said about them.
Oh, interesting take. Okay, let's hear it again. Let me look at it with that lens, because I was kind of thinking, like you said, like,
so and those all things, that perception could be true. He could have a very fragile ego, and he could be like, you know, really upset about this little thing. But I feel like it's really coming from a different place, and he's just trying to garner like emotion from people so that they don't listen to what Lori Hellis has to say. And like, Jay did a video where she clipped in like another thing from their past. You can watch that. I'm just going to show his little like meltdown.
Okay.
And you'll notice just now he touched his glasses. So he ends up throwing his glasses here. But before he throws them, he like taps them like he's going to throw in them. He stops. Like, if you're so mad you're going to throw your glasses, like, you're just going to do it. Like, you're not going to be like, to me, I'm thinking his thought process is like, I'm going to throw my glasses and people are going to take me serious.
oh, okay. That's an interesting observation too, the tapping.
One of the people saying this because one of the people saying this because of this was on our show years ago. And I will say this, one of the worst moments I've ever had in 5 years, one of the moments that pissed me off to no end, unlike every other moment on any show I've ever been on, this person was on the show. And somebody, a viewer asked a question of me that was extremely emotional. And I was pondering the question. You could see I was getting emotional. I was going to give one of the best responses I've ever given. And you know what happened? Because this person couldn't handle the fact that I was getting emotional, they cut me off. They absolutely cut me off, refused to let me answer because they couldn't handle that emotion in a male, especially in a male, that raw emotion that I was about to express. And I was so angry. If this person wonders why she's not on our channel, you might want to look at yourself. You might want to look at the fact that you cut me off in one of the most critical moments on one of our shows that I've ever had. You might want to look at the fact that people didn't like you. You might want to look at the fact that you spoke over Lauren and myself. You might want to look at the fact that you thought you owned this channel when you didn't. You might want to look at the fact that there was a groundswell of people who despised you. This was on our show. One of the people saying this because of this was on our show years ago.
So he like touches the glasses like 3 or 4 times before he decides, you know what, now's the time. I'm going to take them off and throw them.
Oh, that is such a, like, I cannot believe you spotted that, because I never would have noticed that. But it does, like, now that I'm looking at it like that, I definitely could see it. It seems performative. You know what I mean? I could see, and then the touching the glasses multiple times. It's like, you almost did, but you didn't. You almost did, but you didn't. And then you're like, oh, now.
Yes. Now's the time, and they'll take me serious, and they're not going to take them serious of whoever's saying this. So some people are saying seemed like real anger to me. That's the thing, is like, I think that there was anger, but I don't think the anger is because he got cut off. I think it's because Lori was telling things that didn't make them look good. And so if he can kind of discredit Lori, and people are saying, do we know this is about Lori? I believe pretty
Yeah.
95% sure it is, because he's saying like, people didn't like you on our channel. They did like Friday night streams together for a while,
Yeah.
I guess. And so, yeah, I believe that this is about Lori. And I think that he's more angry at the downfall that could happen if Lori kind of speaks out more, that she already did. Like, I don't think that the anger here and like him throwing the glasses like was like natural. I think that it's just based off of somebody said he does love theater, and Brad Pitt. Like, is there a movie where Brad Pitt throws his glasses? He might have been maybe rehearsing that. So that's just my opinion. Again, I think that my opinion's different than other people's.
It
because
is,
a lot of
yeah.
people do think like, oh, he's so fragile in his ego. And I do think that. And I do think maybe Lori Hellis was threatening to his intellect, because she's a very
Oh,
smart woman.
absolutely. Yes. See, I could see it being all things combined. One, it annoyed you or made you angry that she did that, but it wasn't that big of a deal until she started now speaking out against you, against y'all's character, and then boom, you're really like, and it's also, it's not just like, is this fake anger? No, Amber's theory is it's real anger, but it's like that's what manipulation is, right? Like thinking of the exact time to do, those things. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, Amber, let me ask you. Hold on, my
Sure.
audio, but I found another way to fix it, I think. I was going to ask you, what did you think about her body language in that? But it's not working. Hold on. Go ahead and continue with your, and I'll be.
I'm trying to, no, I hear you. Or can you hear me?
Yep, now I can.
Her body language and the whole 3.5 thing to me was like, I felt that, of course, this is just my opinion, that she was told like, don't do any of the talking. You talked for 9.5 hours, and then you went on these channels and had Grayson go on these channels like, I'm going to handle this because I'm the doctor and I'm the man and I'm more intelligent. And she just sits back and she's like, I'm just going to put on a pouty face. And I just don't, the whole thing is just weird. There was never once too, which I thought was weird since we're talking about body language. There was never a moment where like he leans over to her and like rubs her back, or he grabs her hand and he's, like, we're going to get through this together. There was anything like that, which I thought was odd, but some couples just aren't, especially like if you're on camera, like maybe you wouldn't do that. But in 3.5 hours, like I never really saw anything between them that was like, like we had to stop filming, and we kind of had a moment, and we hugged it out, we're good. There was nothing that like that, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, you would expect if she was so afraid, and this was so like that he would be like, kind of rubbing her back, like you said, or just, but like to me, she seems pitiful, and like her body language, just like you said, pitiful and pouty. But it doesn't feel real. It just feels like performative as well. Like it's all a big put on.
Did anyone ever see her on that large channel she was on the 3.5 hour premiere with her husband, and on the 9.5? Like somebody said that she was grabbing the sheet and wiping her nose with it and stuff, but like I never saw a moment where like Grayson or somebody was like, here's a tissue box. Like it just was like, I'm not buying it.
Right. Like they don't seem truly concerned about you.
Yes, exactly.
They also seem like they're acting a bit. Yeah.
Exactly. It just didn't come off as genuine at all. Anything, like any of the streams and videos they've done.
And I had a conversation with him.
And
here's what he told me.
Hellis.
He told me that he was in the courthouse. This would have been during the Chad Daybell trial. Now, would have been during Chad's trial. He called me and told me that he was in line waiting to get into the courtroom, and he was standing there with Justin Lum. And Nate said to Justin, and Justin and Nate have gotten to be good friends over covering the Daybell trial. And Nate said to Justin Lum, hey, I got Lori Hellis's book. Did you get a copy? And Justin said yes, that he had gotten a copy. Lauren was standing right in front of them in line, and she turned around to Nate and said, "Oh, hey, I haven't gotten my copy yet. Could you forward that to me?" And Nate did. Lauren was never intended to get a copy. She was never, it was never intended that Lauren get a copy of the book, but she lied to Nate, and that's how the book got sent. So I'm going to share this, and I'm going to, I have been struggling all day to try and get this I have been stop screen. I have been struggling all day to try and get this PDF turned. And when I look at it on my screen, it is horizontal. But post it in our community tab. This is a screenshot of a Facebook group that this person was in. And this is what it says. The first post is from Lauren Matthias. And it says, "Thanks to Nate Eaton, I have Hellis's book. Anybody want a copy?"
Gross.
Enough said. So I have two more things, and then I'm done. But they're very short. In my notes, I wrote Charlie Kirk. So this is another thing that I think is just so low. So low. Like, and I tried to kind of explain like the climate everywhere in the US, like ever since that day to Adrian, because he's in Switzerland. And, you know, things are just weird now. Things are just like the week it happened, I think I even told him like things are just not good. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like if I'm quiet, like there's just so much division right now. Like everywhere I go, every social media site, like it was thrown in your face when it first happened. Right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And everyone's emotions, even still to this day, like on social media and just discussing this topic is very, very like, it's heated. It can be heated. It's very divisive, and it's very, you know, everyone's emotions. That's what it comes down to and she used her situation and the Charlie Kirk tragedy and situation to kind of come out and compare her situation to that, because the courthouse was in the same county or whatever as like Charlie Kirk's shooting took place. And it's like, where is the correlation you're trying to like go with this just because it was in the same county? Like, to me, it was like she was using Charlie Kirk's name and tragedy and emotional like manipulation against all of us to kind of compare yourself and to even bring up that situation. Like, you know that you're going to garner emotions from people.
Yep. You absolutely do. And I think that you said that so perfectly, like, especially with like telling Adrian, like, you know, it's just, you can't explain it, and you really can't get into the topic too much without upsetting people at all. So you use that, you know that, right? And you use that again multiple times.
Crap in.
She actually did it multiple times. At one point, she says, like, he was even dealing with a stalker. She does it in the chat. At one time, Melissa got that screenshot and sent it to me. It's like, somebody's like, you know, this is what happened, something to Charlie Kirk. And she's like, exactly to that person. Yeah.
Yeah. And people ate it up, and they still are eating it up. And they're like, but the whole thing is like, where is the comparison? Yeah. Where is the comparison? Genuinely. There's not any, but you're using that to kind of manipulate and twist and turn it to being like, oh, this is like me. Or, you know, he said things that people didn't agree with, and so do I. Gossiping and bad-mouthing victims and their families isn't the same as what Charlie Kirk was doing.
Not at all. Yeah.
How freaking dare you? The best way to end all this, besides gathering your final thoughts, is to play a little snippet of the court audio, because it just speaks for itself. So it's 1 minute and 25 seconds, and then I'll ask for your final thoughts. And again, I want to thank you so much, Allie, for coming on with me, and Jen Lou, if she's still awake, or what's going on. Just want to thank you guys both so much for coming on.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
With respect to the online posts, I think that's the biggest concern. for my client. In addition to defaming statements, is there any other clarification the court can give on what would constitute a defamatory statement? So that there's no argument. So there's no like.
What's legally defined as defamation? It's got to fit the legal definition.
Okay. What about harassment?
I don't know what that's going to qualify as, and I can't get into everything. I would say, Ms. MacArthur, I'd be careful in the way you do that. But again, if she's just saying negative stuff, this is not, again, a stalking injunction is not a remedy for shutting down speech that a person doesn't like somebody saying about it. And it seems like that's what you're trying to do in this case.
Well, again, Your Honor, I would argue that we're not asking to restrict her speech. She can still go anywhere else.
Online speech is every bit as protected as anywhere else.
Some forms of speech, like threats and defamation, are not protected.
And that's what I put.
And if that's the best we can do, like that's most clear we can be. I understand. I just wanted to ask for any additional clarification you can give to be instructive to both parties.
Yep. Okay, I think I've been clear on that. Mr. Delaware.
I think I've been clear on that. Like, clearly, like, don't go on social media and say threatening stuff. Like, her lawyer, and I'm sure her, Christina herself, recognized that and knew that. She never once did that.
Do you still have the audio up right there? Or did you close out of it?
I have it on my phone.
Because the first sentence, what about the online post? I think that's the biggest concern for my client.
Mm-hmm. Right. So how are you afraid for your life, in fear of your life, if all you're concerned about is online posts?
Yeah, that's the biggest concern for my client. Literally word for word. That's the biggest concern for my client.
So your client's biggest concern isn't that Christina's going to show up at her house, because she told her audience that. She literally said, one of the first things I do. Of course, this isn't Lauren's voice. I use this voice when I do Nicole Kessinger's voice and Casey Anthony's and all them. But Lauren literally said, like, one of the first things I do is I check my phone and then I check the cameras on my house. What? So then why isn't your lawyer stating our biggest concern is this woman is going to breach, contact that she shouldn't be and come into our state and come into our yard? That wasn't what was stated as her biggest concern.
Yeah, that says it all. And then the ending right there, like the judge is like, been pretty clear.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how much more clear I can get.
Yeah. Dude, and he's like, what about the defamation and harassment? Well, first of all, if you're an attorney, you know that defamation is handled by suing them for defamation, but it has to be false. And so why you would even ask that? And harassment, he can't even get into that because they haven't deemed what she's doing to be harassment. You know what I mean? So what do you mean?
I know. I feel like there were other things I wanted to share, but the only other things I wanted to share that I just don't even feel like we need to is the TikToks that Lauren included in her exhibits of this is evidence, and none of it was noteworthy. So we don't even need to go through those TikToks. I want to thank Adrian and Roxanne and Johnny, all my moderators. You guys were awesome. And of course, again, thank you, Allie and Jen Lou, for coming up. You are going live on this subject. And thank you, Jay Warren. I saw you in chat the whole time, and I really appreciate your support as well. And I really would love if you guys could subscribe to Allie, Jen Lou, Jay Warren, Johnny, my moderators. A lot of my mods have their own channels. If you liked what you heard tonight, because some people were like, this is my first time here, blah, blah, blah. My mods have, really good thoughts too. And you mod for me too. So of course you're included. But you're going live on this subject tomorrow. So I just wanted you to kind of put that out there and share, where your channel is and all that.
Thank you. So yeah, tomorrow at noon. Now I've covered all of the lead up to there's a couple final little things like a recent cease and desist, some other things I had uncovered, kind of searching for this. I wanted to show just a couple things, and I want to tie that in together with an arrest was made in the case of missing 5-year-old Michael Vaughn. Now, the person who was arrested got in very close with YouTubers. He was his phone calls were recording all this stuff. And I just think the two kind of subjects, so it'll be both subjects, probably like an hour of each or something. I don't know. And that's tomorrow at noon Eastern. So yeah, I'm excited to go over these couple little things too, because I find them really interesting. So thank you.
No
Amber.
problem. Again, thank you again. So tomorrow, guys, on Alex Erickson's channel, go to the title where her name is tagged, subscribe. She will be continuing her thoughts and opinions about some stuff that has kind of developed in the last few days in regards to this situation. And of course, Michael Monkey Vaughn, who there finally is a suspect arrested for his abduction, kidnapping, I believe, was on the charge, and the murder.
Yep.
So that's going to be interesting because I haven't seen much coverage of that yet because everyone's kind of still, it's breaking news. So I'm excited to hear your thoughts on all of it. So
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me, and I'll jump down and let you say goodbye. But I'm just want to say, like, I am sorry. I feel like an ass because I come on and you have all of your thoughts well put together, your clips like so organized, and I'm like, first I'm screaming, "Hey, I'm live!" Well, my mic, I could not get it to mute.
I
Finally, did.
swear nobody heard.
Well,
I
I
didn't hear
was.
it.
If you replay viewers, I know you heard it, and people in the chat, you heard it because I was like, I'm live. And anyways, then the audio, which by the way, Amber, since I took the headphones out, it's still doing it. So it's freaking StreamYard. What it's doing, because I learned how to fix it without leaving at the end, is it's switching. So you know, in the settings that I have like earbuds, phone, this, it's switching it on its own, and you just have to switch it back like mid-life,
Weird.
mid-sentence. Yeah. So I'm so sorry for that, Amber, because
Don't
I
worry about
appreciate
it.
you and your time and energy and all that you put into this. So I
No
don't ever
worries
want to
at
mess it up.
all. Everyone loved the discussion, and I'm sure they're going to love your continued coverage of this too tomorrow. So I'll see you there because I'll be
Thank you.
modding in chat.
Okay, and have a good night, and thank you, and bye, guys.
You too. Bye-bye. Okay, guys. So I hope I've been able to kind of lay out my whole thoughts on all this. There is other things that I have to say and think about this whole situation, but I think that I've kind of got out like my main points. Something I do want to kind of add in that is just a little minor thing is like over time of her coverage of the Lori Daybell case, I see her kind of transforming into like in her Mormon Stories podcast, the way she did her hair and stuff. Like, I just feel like it looks very much like Lori. So again, think what you want. That's just my opinion. It almost seemed like she started looking like Lori, like as far as her hair and stuff. Hey, Sleuthy Goosey. There she is, everyone. The hero behind these files and all the organization and making it so much easier for all of us to point out inconsistencies and look through and be like, wait, what is this? What the heck is this? Because this is not evidence of you being stalked. And it seems as though the judge kind of agreed with all that. And unfortunately, all that information was left out before, you know, she went on her live stream and, you know, decided not to mention anything about that hearing or what the judge had to say. So we're having to go through and put it out there. So again, I appreciate you guys and all my moderators. Hey, Purple One, everyone who joined here tonight. If you want to discuss this further, join Alex Erickson tomorrow at noon. Who knows what we might just be discussing it again here. We just don't know. Like, it depends what's going on in updates. Because again, she did say before we all got the court audio and before all these files came out that she was thinking of taking this federal. So we'll be watching to see what happens there. So good night, everybody. Join me tomorrow night on a different case discussion, and it'll be at 8 o'clock. So I hope to see you guys then. If I don't see you tomorrow night, join me again next weekend. We'll be streaming true crime stuff as well. So I'll see you guys later.